everybody. Morning and welcome once again to Perkins Online. Well, we have not had any news of the state of emergency as a means of coping with the upsurge of crime. Or Peter Phillips would like us to think that it is a resurgence of crime. In fact, the minister last night, both newspapers are reporting this morning that the minister said that he is staying the course, says the Observer, and staying the course, says the Gleaner. And the minister says that there is no need for a new crime plan. Well, not unreasonable. The minister, in the time that he has been there, has given this country a belly full of crime plans. And although he is making out that the crime plan worked last year, in that there was a reduction in the level of crime, and in particular of murders. What is it that in the face of the whatever systems he claims to have put in place that worked so well last year, what is it about them that has collapsed and has caused the numbers of murders that we're seeing in the first month of the new year? What? If the crime plan worked, if it was the working of his crime plan last year, or his crime plans last year, that brought about a reduction of crime, and as I say, in particular of murders, what is it about them that has allowed the kind of resurgence, the dramatic resurgence of murders that we have been seeing? The fact of the matter is that it should by now be clear. Dr. Peter Phillips has been Minister of National Security for some years. I think before the last election, wasn't he? So it must be over 5 years now that he has been Minister of National Security. And up to now, he has not shown any ability as Minister of National Security to contribute significantly to the making of Jamaica into a well-ordered society. A secure, well-ordered society. That is what we want. Not to reduce the total number of murders in this relatively small population, a population of under 3 million people, somewhere in the region of 2.7 million people. Reducing the number of murders committed in a single year from 1.6 million down to, what was it last year, 1.2 or 3 or whatever it is, million. Do we wish to see, let us say, 1 million people murdered in Jamaica annually? Would that be satisfactory? What we want is an orderly society in which people can move about their business confidently, and in which they feel secure, and in which people have access to legitimate pathways for achieving their legitimate ends and pursuing and achieving happiness. That is what we want. Not to be able to say that murders were reduced by whatever it is, 3 or 5 or 10 or 15% last year, between last year and this year. Then what if this year it goes up another 15-20%? So we are worse than where we were the year before. And if the trend continues, well, if the year continues as it has started, in terms of the number of murders, for example, the likelihood is that we're going to be worse off than we were last year, and possibly worse off than we were the year before. And for the minister to come assuring the people of this country that he's staying the course. He's staying the course. Might well imply that while he stays the course, murder and other crimes continue to stay the course too. Right? You know, I've told this story before. I'll tell it again. Some years ago, in the very early 1980s, let us say somebody close to me was on an aircraft coming up from Trinidad. And somewhere in one of the islands where the plane stopped, I think in St. Lucia, a very well-known Jamaican politician who is still very active in politics joined the aircraft and sat beside this person. And they got into conversation, and it turned to the violence that was even then plaguing the country. And this politician made a very interesting statement. That in the past, the dons in the communities were dependent upon the politicians. They served the politicians' ends, and they had to, be respectful to the politician and so on, because they needed various forms of help from the politicians. The politicians were benefiting from the process, but the power was seen as residing in the politician. Things were changing, and a time would shortly come when it was the politician who, upon entering the constituency, who would have to be kowtowing to the Don. Because where formerly the Don depended largely upon the consolidated fund for support, they were finding new ways of earning more money than they could get out of the consolidated fund that the politicians had made available to them. And so they were acquiring an independence because the people were dependent, people in the area were dependent upon them to provide them with security and incomes. And it was the politician now who, upon entering the constituency, it was coming to that, where the politicians, upon entering the constituency, would be the one kowtowing to the Don. And something like that has been happening. Right? And the Don and the people who are breaking the law have very powerful positions in these areas, because they are the ones who are taking some kind of steps to supplant the failed state in their neighborhoods. The state cannot provide the people with security. The Dons provide it. In some of these areas, people sleep more securely than people except when there is a war on. Right? But apart from that, when there is an outbreak of violence between factions, between one community and another, apart from that, the Dons maintain order in the community, which the police cannot guarantee. And the Dons provide, from their illicit operations, income opportunities for the young men or the people in the constituency, in the community, which the government of Jamaica is not providing. They maintain a kind of law and order which the government cannot effectively and successfully maintain. We take a break, we come back. Okay, thank you very much. We're back here online. I was listening to a discussion on the Breakfast Club this morning, during which mention was made of the fact that there were policemen who were collecting salaries that were less than the salaries that domestic helpers, some domestic helpers at least, were collecting. And the point was made that when such a policeman found himself with power, authority, whatever, in my words, temptation was being put in his way. Right? He was almost being invited to abuse that power. And, in effect, to commit criminal offenses. Nobody extended that argument to the little man down in the ghetto. If economic deprivation would have that effect upon a police constable, what would prevent it having a similar effect upon an unskilled, untrained, uneducated ghetto man, right? As the kind of person that Dr. Davis some time ago described among his constituents as being irredeemable. What? If the man cannot have a legitimate pathway to reasonable opportunities, what is to prevent him going the other way and finding such opportunities in criminal enterprise? Nobody took the argument to that point. But it's an obvious and very important argument. The police force is being corrupted by deprivation. Policemen are expected to go out there and face all sorts of dangers and to go home with a salary at the end of the week of something in the region of, well, the equivalent at the end of the month, something in the region of $20,000 at the end of a month, no? Something like that. Some piddling sum. And it is understandable that pressures policemen into illegality. Why is it that we don't understand that any crime plan that does not take into account the issue of economics, the issue of opportunity for people, will not work? It can't work. People they have one life to live so far as they know. Why should they be prepared to sit down and live that life in misery and filth? When there are ways of averting that and enjoying the opportunities that they see other people, well, to have car and cell phone and enough gal and all the rest of it, right? To acquire the bling bling and the this, that, the other, and so on. Why? What we need in a crime plan is something to deprive people of the motivation to commit crime. And I grant you that this is not a matter purely for the Minister of National Security to solve. But it is a matter that the Minister of National Security should be bringing forcefully to the attention of his government. And I submit that the Minister of National Security should be prepared to, if he understands this, should be prepared to tell the government that he is very sorry, he's not prepared to continue to occupy that post. If the government insists on making it impossible for him to be successful in carrying out that job that he has been called upon to do. And it seems to me that it doesn't make sense. I mean, I hear some economic, the question of how much funding is going to be needed to buy this, that, and the other. That is not what is important at this point. What is important is how we are going to get the Jamaican people into a situation, a condition in which they will not have to go and get guns and go around shooting people and broken shop and selling ganja and whatever in order to achieve their ends. And it may well be that the success of Kingfish, as is said, in curbing the drug trade may have had a deleterious effect upon crime, the rate of crime in other areas. Entirely understandable. Right? But it only goes to show you that merely suppressing the drug trade, I'm not saying that you must not suppress the drug trade, but in suppressing the drug trade, it seems to me that you need to be providing opportunities in other areas for people. So the man who was making a little money out of the drug trade and can buy one of these expensive motor cars and whatever, right? What is he going to do now when you suppress his trade? We have to think in terms of function. He's going to have to find some other way, some other illegal way, or go about his drug trade more successfully, or whatever, right? But he's not going to just sit down and die, right? The problem of this country is primarily economic. The economic policies of the government have been a failure, a disaster. And it is no point trying to hide that from ourselves and refusing to understand that is what has been happening. A colossal disaster. And the price, part of the price that Jamaica is paying for that is the levels of crime. The level of crime that we are having in this society. Right? No amount of policing and of fingerprinting and taking DNA and all, putting up clock in Montego Bay and all kind of, or cameras in Montego Bay, none of that is going to really to help. And, it is obvious that people can commit crimes in Kingston, and if you focus a lot of police personnel and whatever in Kingston, they can move to Montego Bay, and if you focus in Montego Bay, they can go to Mandeville or somewhere, right? They are mobile. What we are looking at and what people are refusing to recognize about it is the failure of the Jamaican state. Right? And no number of crime plans is going to correct that. Okay? We take a break? Hey, thank you very much. We're back here online. And our Prime Minister has been talking about the story that was published in the Gleaner, when was it? On Sunday. About her travels and the cost of them to the Jamaican people. Here is some of what she had to say. Just a little clip. I don't know. I'd hope to have some more, but this is all I have.
They think it is fun. It's not fun unless what? They don't know. I can't say that because I'm Prime Minister. I love my house, you know. I love in my bed. I love my house. Everybody works with me to do that. I said, they know that I love my house. When everybody calls me and says, why you do not stay at the Lord? I indicate it. If I go there, I will be the Jamaican people while they night the taxpayers will be paying for when they have functions, they have meetings. They do not have to provide me with lunch, with breakfast, and with dinner. I prefer to stay where Errol does that. And he never asked me yet one day how much per them you get to give me my little things extra to work with if I need anything. Or never asked me one day how much do you get. You know that, Danny? Never asked me one day. How much you get at your pay? Yeah.
Sounds very dignified and prime ministerial, doesn't she? That is the most honorable prime minister. I love my house, you know. I love my house. I love my bed. And, you know, Errol and thing, and him give her credit card the first from the time they got married, and him never asked me yet how much money I get, how much pay I get, how much per diem. Well, for us. But the other item in the news is, well, not the other, but another item in the news is that the Cabinet has taken account of the statement made by Mr. Ennis about, well, they are saying it is about the what's it called, the financial unit of the Ministry of Finance. In fact, Mr. Ennis went far beyond that. He talked about behavior by the government, not only in this instance, but in other instances, some of which he mentioned, he spoke of, he named, in which the government behaved as if it were ruling in a totalitarian state, and used Gestapo tactics. Now it seems to me that the government is going to have to deal with that issue, or certainly that the Jamaican people should insist upon the government addressing that issue. Is the government lapsing into a kind of totalitarian attitude and methodology? Is that part of the problem that we have in Jamaica? Is it using Gestapo methods? That's a very serious matter. And coming as it does from somebody in Mr. Ennis's position, the government just can't ignore that. Right? They need to come out and say something about it, and not just try to pressure Mr. Ennis into withdrawing it. That ain't gonna work. Unless, of course, the people of Jamaica are too overridden with self-contempt to want to challenge that position. If they just accept it, well, it will continue to happen, and will go even worse. But I don't think it should be just accepted like that. Right? Do we want to have a situation in Jamaica where the people have no rights? And I heard a mention, again on the Breakfast Club, somebody saying that, anything that will solve this crime problem, anything, needs to be done or whatever, must be accepted, whatever. Is this really so? Solving the crime problem involves the establishment of an ordered society. But not just any order. If we're going to have an ordered society, we need a certain kind of ordered society. A kind of ordered society that is consistent with democracy and consistent with the human rights of the Jamaican people, that upholds those rights instead of suppressing them. So it isn't just anything that will suppress crime that we want to see happen, or should be wanting to see happen. We want to suppress crime. We want to create order, law and order, a system of law and order. But we want a system of law and order that protects the rights of the people, not one that suppresses them on the basis of an excuse that crime is so horrible that we have to do anything about it. That is rubbish, and dangerous rubbish at that. Okay? Let's go to the telephones. Hello? Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you, sir.
Boy, I tell you, I was very upset. Well, not really upset, but when I saw that thing there by the minister, Mr. Buchanan, about Mr. Ellis will be drawn up before their Star Chamber.
Oh, you said that?
No, it hasn't said Star Chamber, but he will be asked to give an explanation. You know what I mean? I hope that Mr. Ennis will have the courage of his conviction.
Yes.
And remember, Jigs, Fortis Canary R.E.S.
Oh, he is a KC boy?
Yes, man.
Oh.
He was a champion shot potato. Discuss throw. Yes, he was very active.
Is that so?
That's cool. Yeah, man.
Yes.
Yeah, yes. He must remember Archbishop Thomas Cranmer, right?
Yes.
When he served King Henry VIII, and when he didn't serve him all he wanted, he had him put to death by fire. Listen, Jigs. Whatever fire Danny Booker they want to put around you, serve Jamaica well. Jamaica is a higher service than the PNP, and you are serving the people of this country when you have staked out a position of principle and honesty and democratic conventions and practices. Jigs.
Kedere non-protest.
Yes, Kedere.
The brave may fall.
The brave may fall, but
never yield.
I am proud of you, Jigs, and anybody who loves Jamaica. Anybody who loves Jamaica will back you on that one. Again, Mr. Perkins.
Yes, sir.
I see.
I hope Mr. Ennis has that riveted in his mind.
Yes, I hope so. I hope so. Because in the end, Mr. Perkins, Jamaica is what all of us, whether PNP, JLP, Jamaica should come first.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And what Ennis said wanted to be said a long time ago. Right? If Ennis was a Minister of Finance, I am certain that he would not have destroyed Jamaican entrepreneurs. and talk about them love black people. You know how much black people them destroy? Build up them business for years.
Yes.
Eh? People who go blood, sweat, and tears and borrow money for at a certain percentage, and they come with this high interest rate policy and destroyed 50, 60 years of their lives. They lose their business, lose their house.
That's quite true.
And it doesn't happen to just JLP alone. It happened to PNP, JLP,
and they were not all bankers, sir.
What, sir?
I said they were not all bankers.
They were not all bankers.
Right? What is this idea that it was a collapse of the banking sector is a myth. That is not true.
It was the policies of the government.
Yes, and it was
having this high interest rate policy run so long. No business. The bankers had to go in other investments because they have this whole heap of money and people couldn't borrow the money, and who borrowed the money couldn't pay back that interest rate. You know, Mutty, how much business can make 60% a year? Most business
well, it seems to me, sir, that anybody who can pay interest at 60% must be in the drug business.
Exactly. Exactly. You know, Mutty, and I hope Jamaicans of whatever persuasion, be there PNP, JLP, no P, stand up with jigs and this against these dinosaurs of the 1970s and beyond. You know? Because they don't know what it is, but they have no idea what it is to run a business. As Mr. Stewart said the other day, they have never met a pay bill, right?
Yes.
And he had some other descriptive attitudes to tell them how they run the tourism business, but let them deal with that. No, Mr. Perkins.
Yes, sir.
They said about this promise of Mr. Peter Phillips to address the nation and comment. Well, he just reached some of the things that he did before.
Well.
And I think, you know, he doesn't know what to do. So he's just going to do the same old thing. You know? It surprised me how these boys supposed to be so bright, PhDs and whatnot. And they don't seem to zoom in. As any man with a little intelligence can zoom in so that the situation is not just guns and bullets and all of that, but it's to change the whole direction of the society and to have hope for the people. Hope. How you give people hope? You educate them and you give them job opportunities.
Yes. Both newspapers this morning have the headline, "Staying the course."
What course? A course.
What that means? What that means? Nothing new. Same old.
Same old. They run out of ideas. They are tired. They are at the end of their if they had any ideas before in the first case. They are at the end of their tether, and they should go. Leave gracefully. If you love Jamaica, leave it. You can't manage it. Give it to people who can run the country. And then here again on the radio.
Hold on, before you go on to that.
Yes.
The Westminster political system.
Yes.
Like other multi-party democracies.
Yes.
Two or multi-party democracies.
Yes.
What it is about is having more than one political group.
Yes, ready to take over.
Right?
When people lose.
One actually in government. Doing the business of governing.
Yes.
And others out there.
Ready to rest the country.
Hold on just a moment for me. Okay, thank you very much. We're back here.
Yes.
I was saying at the break, so that what the Westminster system implies, and for that matter, the system used in America and in other modern democracies, is alternative governments.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
One party is in office. The years go by, it is exhausting itself in the business of government. It brought ideas into government, and it, has been working with those ideas, and after a while it runs out of its, in the meantime, another party is out there refreshing itself, right? Making contact with the people and so on, right? And then the electorate has a choice and it chooses, to, let us say, to put the opposition in government, right? And then the same process goes on, right? The opposition goes in, it does a job, it exhausts itself in the process, right? And maybe other things, and then in the meantime, the party that was rejected is out there making new contact with the people, and devising new sort of and better understanding of where things now are, and so on, right? So that there is always a refreshing process.
Of course, a renewal of the system.
A renewal.
Yes.
So I don't know. I mean, the idea that that one party should rule forever, is not one that I would find acceptable.
But Mr. Perkins, in the 18 years of governing this country,
yes,
what it has shown is that a success in helping the Jamaican people.
Yes.
It's a greater success in helping themselves and their cronies.
Yes.
But really, hope is at an end in this country.
Well,
and if it wasn't for the remittances, and here the irony in this, because of the bad economic conditions, our people have to run away. And because remember the people in Jamaica, they send back these little remittances, which amount to nearly $2 billion US a year.
Yes.
That is what keeps this country going,
Yes.
So when them come tell you about macroeconomic this and macroeconomic that,
yes,
it's not that. It's the same little Jamaican poor black people go to America, go clean up things and this, and send back the money that keep our nose above the water. So what this 18 years have clearly shown is their incapacity for bringing new ideas and ideas to take this country to a new level.
Look here, sir.
All they do is create more poverty.
Let us say that one of these persons who goes abroad,
yes,
sends back.
Yes, I understand that, Mutty.
Hold on.
Let
us say that this person sends back about 10% of his income.
Yes, Mutty.
Right?
Yes.
It means that 90% of that income
is abroad, making that country
is abroad,
richer.
Right? And in other words, he's producing
for that country
100%.
Right.
And Jamaica is getting 10%.
Not even 10%.
Right?
They're not even getting
well,
2%.
maybe not. But the point I'm making is
if the
that if that production were being done in Jamaica
would be
right?
Yes.
Then Jamaica would be so much wealthier than it is.
Of course. But it's their inability to do that, to make Jamaica a more prosperous country.
Yes.
And that is why they
cannot
talk about.
That should be one of the primary objects of government.
And that is why in their vocabulary you never hear them talking about making the Jamaican people wealthy and more successful. What they say? Reducing poverty. Poverty what? What they call this? Catchword that they have? Poverty alleviation.
Look here.
People don't want to alleviate poverty. Instead of you have 3 meals a day, you can have 2.5.
Yes.
That is what poverty alleviation is. And we are with that. That's rubbish.
Part of our problem in this country, sir, is that our minds, as I have kept saying, are riveted to the paradigm of slavery and the plantation.
Of course.
And the idea of them people down in the ghetto being wealthy.
Yeah. It makes them tremble.
Seems absurd to some of us.
Yeah. And Mutty, I hear that this morning on the Breakfast Club there, I heard, well, Mr. Abrams was asking some good questions. And as usual, the professor, in his usual way, was trying to fob off, most unconvincingly. But they talk about, even I do not agree that But the police really do need some more equipment and thing, right? But that won't solve the problem.
It
but
will
then
not.
say, where is the money, right? And Professor Manuel, every time he talk, is to raise taxes on the Jamaican people. If he ever get power in this country, him tax out, we go to us. Nothing left for we. And then when would I do with the money? Dash it away. But Mutty, and they say that they need money and they don't have any money. But I hear, Mutty, that here Jamaica, the cabinet has approved the business plan of Air Jamaica. And it will require $60 million this year and another $60 million. So that's $130 million to spend on an airline that costs us nearly about 100 billion Jamaican dollars already. Mutty?
No, sir.
And we're pouring more money down in here, Jamaica. And we don't have no money for fix the hospital. We don't have the money for education. We don't have the money for crime fighting, as they call it. And this cabinet has taken the conscious decision to pour down $130 million more US dollar and multiply that by 68.
Well,
Mutty, them mother of them fool or what? Do they have an inferiority complex that they must have a airline to show that we are citizens of the world? Do they have an inferiority complex that they must build this penis park and these big projects to make them feel like they are human beings? Can't they say that they should spend the money on fixing our people? If we had educated people with hope, would we have so much time?
Our cabinet ministers are supposed, most of them, to be highly educated graduates of the university.
But that is
not only graduates, I mean, they're people with postgraduate degrees.
Yes.
But there clearly is a difference between having degrees and having intelligence.
Yeah. There is a dichotomy. But, Mutty, I tell you, and when you consider again, they're brushing aside this $10 million for traveling. Oh, it's a piddling sum. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But yet still, when the NWA, they caused this bridge to be built in Port Maria, and hundreds of people flood out, and their bed wet up, their house mash up, their furniture gone, all the government could find to help those people is $10.5 million.
Yes.
You Mutty? And them love the poor. Them love the poor, you know. They love the poor.
So
and
they say.
Fine, it's $10.5 million.
So they say.
No,
they say they love the
for
poor.
Traveling is a piddling sum. Where are these people headspace? Where is it, Mutty?
Look here, sir. There are so many poor people in Jamaica with votes that nobody is going to get power exhibiting indifference to the poor.
No.
Right?
No.
If you want to get power,
yes,
right, just make the poor understand how much you love them.
Yes.
Right?
I love you to poverty.
Okay.
And I think I love you to death, but them love them to poverty.
Yes, wonderful.
And again, Mutty, what is
for you.
NHT floating loan on the United States bond market, right? And they're paying whole heap of US dollars, some whole heap of money to put up their proposal. And what money, whatever money they buy at that interest rate, how can it help to provide houses for low-income people?
For the poor. Well, I wonder, what is that money about?
I would like to know.
Well,
they're going to borrow U.S. money on the U.S. capital market to build homes. Poor people can't afford that money.
But I thought they were going to use NHT funds for all sorts of other purposes.
It looks so.
This is the inner city renewal project, I suppose. Right?
But I tell you, we need urban renewal in Port Maria, Sister P. We need urban renewal in Adasta Bay. Kingston is not Jamaica, right?
True.
And another thing, Mutty, that come and tell you about why Omar did what he did was to help the poor people who had accounts in the banks. Rubbish, you know, buddy. What money poor people pay in taxes to pay rich people that let come up and money is 100 times more than what they would have lost in any banking thing, you know, buddy.
Yes, but the easiest way to have saved the poor people's money, sir,
Yes.
was to not to have behaved as the government behaved towards the banks.
Not to have destroyed.
Not to have created the problem in the first place.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly what it
Yes.
is. Okay,
All right,
buddy.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Yes, I'm going on next.
Yes,
Okay,
you're on.
Am I on the air?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, you caught me by surprise. I was on the toll free.
You are sleeping.
No, I need to speak with you, but because I was listening to that gentleman, but I don't waste any more time. Am I on the air?
Yes, you are.
Yes, I just want to discuss a bit of the World Cup, you know, to catching my task quickly. You know?
Discuss whatever you want to discuss, so go ahead.
Yes, would you say I don't want to, the politics part, I want to stay a bit clear of it, you know?
Uh-huh.
Because I don't believe the World Cup was designed by the government of the Caribbean to really make them look good, you know? I think the World Cup cricket is a thing which by the cricket board try to get it to the Caribbean. Are you with me?
Yes.
And as such, we're able to get it for this year.
Uh-huh.
So what I'm saying as a
But
fan...
hold on. Could I make one point in relation to what you've said?
No, we're having
Right?
a discussion. I don't have a problem listening to
Yes. The fact that something was not designed for a particular purpose.
Hello?
Hello?
Yes, I'm listening. I'm hearing.
The fact that something was not designed for a particular purpose, right? A. B. The fact that I did not design that thing would not prevent me recognizing the possibility of using it for that purpose and for my own benefit. You following me?
Yes, let me just be a bit more frank with you straight up here.
Yes.
Are you hearing me properly?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
What I'm
Why don't
saying-
you say what you...
What I'm saying, I say
Hold on, we're going to take a break and we'll come back to you. Okay, thank you very much. We're back here.
Yes, sir. What I'm saying, I'm going to broaden my thing a little bit here.
Uh-huh.
From I've been into town, I don't live in town from in the late 60s, you know.
Yes.
I was always thinking, why even in the 70s they have to go over Portmore to build those houses, you know?
Uh-huh.
Because I was saying to myself that they should develop the Kings on the waterfront there, and even say build some high-rise building,
Uh-huh.
and you'll have a better thing there, you know?
I entirely agree with you, sir.
But saying this and saying that a lot of mistakes have been made over the many years, you know?
Uh-huh.
From way back over 40 years, you know?
Yes.
So what I'm saying, now we're at a point whereby we have a World Cup, you know, we will be getting it 4 years ago, you know? And nothing was done to make Kingston look more beautiful, you know?
Yes.
So I'm just going to implore at this point in time now as a cricket fan, I'm going to ask the mayor to see what possible and the government, you know?
Uh-huh.
I'm not going to put it at him still, you know, but when he's speaking, I just want him to speak some facts, you know?
Uh-huh.
Because as a cricket fan, I can't say to you no much. What he said on my TV Monday night is not true, you know?
What?
Jamaica has got one of the better package, one of the best package in this World Cup thing, you know?
Oh, is that so?
Yes, I can tell you that as a fact, as a cricket fan, you know?
What is the package that Jamaica's got?
We're getting the preliminary matches, we're getting a semi-final, and we also have the opening ceremony, you know?
My understanding is that we have Pakistan playing the West Indies,
Right.
and there's one other match in that category. What is it? I can't remember.
No, we have two minor matches. I don't remember the exact.
Yes.
We have two minor games,
Uh-huh.
and we have two major games. That
Yes.
is the exact thing true.
Two major games.
You know.
Right. But those major games are not anywhere near the finals. They're preliminary matches.
No, but as I'm saying to you, we're getting a semi-final, you know, so we don't even know who the semi-finalists might be as yet, you know.
Uh-huh.
It could even be a West Indies versus Australia as a semi-final. We don't know as yet, you know, so we're not going to prejudice that, you know.
Uh-huh.
But my take on the whole thing, I just want the cricket part to come out, you know. I'm not saying the place shouldn't be fixed up, you know. I don't want you to misread me there, you know.
Uh-huh.
But I'm just saying at this point in time, we need to build health, education, and other things, you know.
Well, you know, sir, I don't know. I have a sense of deep resentment about that. Right? That Jamaica is here for the Jamaican people.
Okay.
Right? And our hospitals have been allowed to decay. Our roads have been allowed to decay. Our cities, our towns and cities have been allowed to decay. And all of a sudden, some visitors are coming here for cricket. And so the hospitals have to be fixed, and, you know, the roads have to be done, and the this, the that, the other. Right? The roads should be there done for the Jamaican people. The hospitals should be there in good condition for the Jamaican people. Right? And if people come from abroad as visitors and need hospitals, well, fine. The hospitals are there. But here the hospitals are being fixed because these people are coming from abroad. The government doesn't give one damn what happens when the Jamaican people need hospital services. Right? They don't care if Jamaican people are driving over potholed roads.
Can I say something?
Yes, go ahead.
It is running here. What my point is this, you know, I don't want you to misunderstand me. I'm not here trying to defend no government, you know, but
no, it's not. I'm not talking about you're defending the government.
Okay, because
I am saying that I think that Jamaicans should be resentful of the fact that the hospitals, to use that example, were in a mess. The government couldn't find the money to do anything about it, right? And now when the visitors are coming, they find the money.
Mutty, please allow me a minute to get my point, and
yes,
then I listen on the radio here.
Yes.
What I was saying, I was at scheduling parking, and I mean, within my group, there are roughly about 30 persons, you know, or more, you know, within a small group.
Yes.
Because, you know, the match between Barbados is not going too well now. We are in the losing end, you know, so it have to be ardent fan that are there watching, you know. And within my group here, the consensus amongst us was that, remember now within the group you're going to have JLP, PMP and no P, you know. But as a cricket fan, we're stick as a band, you know. Our thing was that, boy, since it is here already, many mistakes has been made, you know. And it's roughly 115 million US, which might have been spent incorrectly, you know. But notwithstanding that, we have to accept the fact that that money has been spent already, you know. So we say, since the people are coming and it's here already, let's just try to stick it out for the rest of it. 40 days. And see the best we can put on and even what smile, you know.
Yes.
And see what best can come out of it and hold up.
Yes, but you're not responding to the point that I'm making. Why is it that the hospitals have been allowed to decay, and as soon as the visitors are coming for World Cup, they find the means of putting them, some of them at any rate, back in order so that the visitors can use them if
Martin,
need
yeah,
be.
you agree there, and you're not getting my point. You agree on that, you know, because I even go further and say, boy, nothing has been done, because as I was even hinting to you, even said the Portmore thing, because I'm trying to show that Kingston should have been developed in such a state that we have a fine Kingston, you know. So I would go beyond that, you know.
Yeah.
I'm not going to excuse our because it's over a long period of time.
And all the beautification of Kingston or of Jamaica that your Prime Minister has been talking about. Why all of a sudden does that become important? Why wasn't it important before?
You know, you and me answer to your boss, man.
But I hear you.
You can be down the line. I better say, so call me, comrade. I don't want, you know, but they have it. Because I listen to you a lot, you know. I can't just talk as a cricket fan to you, man.
But I've heard what you said.
So it does make sense for us to continue beyond that. So I just hope so we can have a good World Cup, you know. I mean, not really see no demonstration or anything, you know. Because, you know, so we have a little good idea at times, you know. try our best and hope that West Indies can
Well,
come
what
back
threat
and
is there of demonstration?
Eh?
Is there any threat of demonstration?
I don't see it, but as I say, possibilities and things. Because normally when something should have been gotten, and you see, downtown never fix up. And we are here, this never do that and that never do that, you know. So that's my concern. We just want to see a good World Cup. As a matter of fact, I have my ticket already, you know. I got it from a good friend of mine because I'm financially embarrassed, you know.
Uh-huh.
So I just hope so I can go enjoy myself and thing, you know.
Well, I wish you the best. I hope that you have a good time
As
watching
a
the
cricket
cricket.
fan, you know.
Uh-huh.
When I have some credit, I call again as a normal Jamaican. But this call is just as a cricket fan, you know. Whether you believe me or not, you know.
But at some point, World Cup will be behind us.
Yes.
And then what?
Back to the said old things.
Oh, I see what you mean. And you find that acceptable.
Well, I don't have a choice right now.
All right, sir.
All right.
Thank you very much. Okay, hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, sir. Morning.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning. I think you're listening to the radio.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning to you, Mr. Perkins.
Yes.
I just have a couple points I want to get across to you.
Yes.
Well, your speech this morning, it was excellent, you know. Yeah, I love your opening speech this morning.
Oh, is that so?
You know,
Thank you.
You said all that was needed to say, Mr. Perkins.
Uh-huh.
You know, it couldn't come across any clearer. And my next thing is, you know, I think he was right when you say that, you know, all the crime is due to the failure of the state.
Yes.
Yeah, I think he was right on that, you know, because, you know, it's not me or you or the man them who do the shooting and mash up the country, Mr. Perkins. It's the state and them failure.
Yes.
Right? And there's a lot of people out there who say that you're a poison mouth. And, you know, I hope them see for themselves know that it's not you causing it, you know. It's the failure of the state that's causing all the crime. You know, and I hope this is a sign. That's a sign for them to show them that the state failed. You know, I hope they use this as a sign and don't say, well, you know, Mr. Perkins applies the mouth and other people who, you know, and them hide the truth. But I hope them use this as a sign now. All the crime that's going on, you know, and I hope them use that as a sign. And my final point, Mr. Perkins, is, you know, it grieves my heart when me and them talk about squatters and them thing there. Your speech, you know, your little thing where you played this morning with Lady Hawkins. As she say, she lay down in her bed, and she have her bed, or she can lay down in her. And Mr. Perkins, the whole Jamaica is for the whole of women, Mr. Perkins.
True.
So when the mother say people are squat and this and that, Mr. Perkins, that grieves me heart, because if the state did make it possible that people could have homes, people would not have to live on them land there. And the land is all ours, Mr. Perkins. It's all Jamaican. You know, the land is all ours. So how the mother say the people them poor and them can't do no better. Right? A lot of those people, when the rain come and hurricane and them things, a lot of them get flooded out of them house and them don't have nowhere to go. More than them see a little piece of land over there, so the people them go build up a little one-room shack on it and live in it, and then now them come tell the people them, so the people them are squatters and them care. And look on the park downtown, Mr. Perkins, where you see the mad people them lay down over the dirty and stink, and the Prime Minister, she was sent from God, and she now have to take a walk down there and look and say, boy, you know, say something better for go look to them people here. You know, me, I say, Mr. Perkins, you know, them are go bad in Jamaica now. You know, and that is just my take on the whole situation, Mr. Perkins.
Yes.
And one more thing before I leave. Speak the truth, speak it ever, cast it what it will. Those who know the truth and hide it does the wrong thing still. Thank you, Mr. Perkins.
Okay. Thank you. We take a break. Okay, thank you very much. We're back here online. Hello?
Hello, Willie.
Hi, how are you?
How many people did you have cursing you yesterday?
Cursing you?
I came off.
Cursing you?
Cursing you.
Cursing me? Well, I don't know. I mean...
For having me on. I didn't hear because I had to go out.
Oh, people expressed an opinion, you know.
So they come on.
Huh?
What was that first thing you played this morning? I only heard the end of it, and it was Portia's voice.
Oh, that was Sister P.
Yeah.
Talking about how she, you know, she don't have to travel. She love her house and, you know, all that kind of thing.
So what's wrong with that?
Eh?
What's wrong with that?
You know, I'm just saying that, it did seem a little undignified.
What was undignified to you was because she spoke to her people in their language.
Oh, is that so?
And so they understood what she was saying, and they agree with her.
I follow you.
And I think that the aristocrats like you find it, oh my...
aristocrat?
I don't think she went
Aristocrats like me?
Because she's not talking the kings
Who told you that I was an aristocrat?
I'm telling you, you're an aristocrat.
Oh, is that so?
Right. You file in with the bunch of the richness. Right? Whereas she's talking to her people.
Well, I hold on a little bit. Just to get it quite clear. I make no claim to be an aristocrat. And I don't see myself in those terms.
You are an aristocrat in schooling, in words, in the upper class of the university ideology.
I am not a university person, Mom.
University, you said.
What?
Although you said you didn't go there, you have more brains than most.
I not only said I didn't go there, I did not.
Well, I'm saying that, but you have more brains than some of them that went there.
Well, I make no such claim.
I think that they started to get a lower class of brains after you left. Right? And that kind of brains is splattered all over Jamaica, making them think.
I don't know about the class of brains.
In class distinctions.
I don't know any such thing about
that. You can't pronounce your H's. Oh my God, she didn't go to school. She can't say how.
So hold on a little bit now. You're tired of cussing Bruce Golden, you turn on me now.
You started Bruce Golden again this morning? You know how many people called me? What did you say bad about Bruce yesterday? I said, I didn't say anything bad about Bruce yesterday.
Well, I don't know. The people were saying that you...
I think it's Perkins who always turns his attention to Bruce.
Oh, is that so? You said that?
Yeah, I said it doesn't occur to me.
I see.
I am talking of a party. He's talking of a man. But that man don't come into my mind. So they come on with Ibikasa her brother.
But I'm sure that you have mentioned him on this program.
Yes, sometimes.
And I think you did yesterday.
Sometimes you started that.
I did?
You started that Bruce Golden business.
I don't know that.
He does not occur to me in the slightest. And it's because of her brother. Don't because of my brother, right? I love my brother, like everybody should love their brother. But I defend my brother because I think wrongs were done to him.
Yes.
But we're not all that close. The first time I saw him...
What wrongs would you say were done to him?
I don't have to explain that. Ask the Jamaicans. They all know it. The first time I saw my brother...
You think his removal from the leadership of the party was a wrong?
Of course it was a wrong.
It was?
Because I hear there's a lot of fighting going on in there now.
Well, let me ask you something. For how long? For how long was he the leader of the Labour Party?
I don't know, and I know men that
was
are
it 30 odd years?
That are leading. I'm not interested in that. Stop about that Labour Party and Bruce Golden.
Hi, was
Let
it...
me tell you something. The first time I saw my brother since Christmas, right? I didn't even see him at Christmas. The first time I saw him was Saturday night at a function. If they think I'm sitting down beside my brother all day long, holding his hands and fretting for him and telling him don't worry. My brother is so happy, it's not funny.
Yes, indeed.
It's so funny. Why didn't he take my mother's advice years ago and quit it?
No,
I
but you
told you about that.
No, the point I'm making is that, is that you seem to be very resentful of the fact that...
Bruce Gold, that's my personal opinion. That has nothing to do with my brother.
Oh?
If my brother was still in there and they asked me about him, I would still say the same thing.
Oh?
Willie.
But you are resentful of Bruce Golding replacing your brother as leader of the Labour Party.
A leader of the Labour Party, but I have my individual thoughts and I'm entitled to it.
Yeah, well,
right?
I said so yesterday.
I don't need you to be bugging up my brains.
Eh?
You bugging up when a poor man come on to talk about cricket. All you can done with now is gone back into the politics. The man trying to tell you, me not come here for talk about no politics.
Well, what politics was I talking about?
Me come here for tell you, say me glad that the thing is here and that me have my ticket.
Yes.
And me think it is an honor.
But I think that Jamaicans should...
Your government could have done better with the money than...
I think that Jamaicans should be resentful of the fact...
Why?
That the government...
always gone into the government business.
That it takes some people, visitors coming here to watch a cricket match.
But he never called you about that.
For resources to be spent, putting the hospitals in order.
You're always doing that rubbish.
What?
You're always doing that rubbish to everybody.
What makes it rubbish?
It is rubbish because of the fact that he's proud of his cricket match. And he comes to tell Jamaica about how they should enjoy it and this. Are you right away? But don't you think the government should be able to do something better with that money?
Let me ask you something.
Blah, blah, blah.
You don't resent the fact that the hospitals are neglected.
I am not going into any politics with you today. I am talking about Olympic Gardens and that I've got the National Health to go down there. They are going on Thursday morning for the day to the Pentecostal church to examine diabetics, high blood pressure, whatever you have, and for the people of Olympic Gardens.
Well, you don't think there's politics in that too?
No,
why don't we have a health service that affords that opportunity to people who are potentially diabetic?
We have one, but I'm trying to stir them up.
So why are you doing it if the health service is there, able to do it?
Because they were not moving, and the people don't understand the diabetic machines. I was surprised, and that's Andrew Oldis's area. That is not no PNP area.
Is what?
And he should be the one leading.
But that area shouldn't have or not have health service depending upon whether it is PNP or JLP.
All of them, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to shame them into every single area in the inner city. What happens to be one of my favorite people's place, Andrew Holness.
I see.
He should be heading the Jamaica Labour Party.
Andrew Holness?
Yes.
I see.
Yes. All of the post-era ones should get out. And let these younger ones...
Would you explain to me exactly what it is that you have against Mr. Golding?
Why have you gone back to that?
Well, I just find it curious.
I find it is my private business. I've told you so many times.
Oh, this is private business?
Yes.
But you come and make a public issue of it.
I've told you so many times I am tired of going over it.
It's private business.
I want to know if anyone in that area has a small cot bed that they could lend them for the day at the church.
A small what?
Bed. That they can look on and get their examinations done.
Oh, I see.
I don't have one. And so I'm asking them to help the people there.
Okay.
And call this number. 387-6638. The name of the lady is Jasmine.
Yes.
And see if they can help them with a little bed so they can get their examinations where they have to lay down. The mammogram machine is going down on Thursday morning.
Okay.
And I will be making the health service active. They're not going to sit down there.
I see.
Okay?
All right. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, good.
Yes.
Good morning to you.
Good morning, sir. I must commend you for the fine program that you've been running.
That's what?
The fine programs that you've been running.
Oh, I see. All right.
I must commend you for it. I long to hear someone who speaks for Jamaica and not a partisan, not someone who just go for any one party, but one who speaks for Jamaica for Jamaicans. I heard you raise a few points. The crime. I'm visiting, and I'm in the Montego Bay area, and the crime has reached...
Will you keep your voice up for me?
Yes, I said the crime in the Montego Bay area and in St. James. I'm visiting here, and I'm staying in the Montego Bay area, and the crime has reached endemic proportion, I would say. It's alarming.
Yes.
I don't think government really understand what's at stake here. Government are busy trying to be re-elected. And I have said this some time ago, that until Jamaica realize that Jamaica is for Jamaicans and not anyone affiliating to any party, I don't think our country is moving anywhere. Jamaica is for Jamaicans, regardless of your party affiliate. And Jamaicans should so move that if a government is in power and it's not doing its job, out of principle, the people would move to replace such government.
Yes.
Not on who my grandfather or my mom or dad has been affiliated and how much good. Jamaica must realize that infrastructures are put in place primarily for the country, not when an election is looming or an election year. Light, water, road, these are services and infrastructures that are put in place for the country, and not for when my party or my MP has given me road, so I'm going to vote. Well, it was there and it was bad, and he didn't see it to replace it until election. He's good to go. Vote him out. And until Jamaica realize that, the next thing I want to point out is that abroad, when government...
Hold on just a moment for me, please. Okay, thank you very much. We're back on line. Hello?
Yes, sir. As I was saying, I would like to find out from the government here, and this is the right for the Jamaican people to know, has the government ever produced a balanced budget? Of all the taxation, the nation is highly taxed. Where is all this money going? Is there any time that the government said we have a surplus and we're moving towards a better Jamaica in terms of...
That hasn't happened in quite some time.
That hasn't happened. Then where's all this money that goes? Where's the accountability? You see, Mr. Perkins, as I just listened to the former leader of the Jamaican party, Edward Siaga's sister, it seems, was talking to you. I see a level of nepotism that's running our Jamaican government. It's my sister, it's my cousin, it's my brother, and everybody is getting elected into office. And that's the problem with Jamaica's politics. With too much nepotism, we need to have some new blood inside there. And we need to have people that will speak for the nation and not friends and buddies and relatives. And that's one of the problems. The next thing, I just want to point out a few things here, a few indicators that I've seen, and I would like to make some suggestions. If for crime fighting purposes, I would like to see that the cars that are going around where the glasses are all tinted as midnight, I think they should remove those tinted glass from every car that's in Jamaica. I believe our security personnel, where they're on the street, there's a dress code. I've seen police officers with all 10 fingers full of gold rings and all. Are they drug dealers or what? There is a dress code, and when they're in a uniform, present themselves as police officers. If they're in civilian clothes, that's fine. I mean, it's too much. I think that these things are indicators as to why crime is so high. The police are in cahoots and in bed with the criminals. And until we can clean up our security forces, then our crime-fighting measures are going nowhere. And it's sad. I would like to say that Jamaicans living abroad, and mind you, I'm in Canada, and Jamaicans are living abroad are lining up to come home. If they could only quench the crime, I suggest to government here in Jamaica that Jamaica's national debt would have been eliminated, because Jamaicans abroad are patriotic and they will come home to make sure they help their country in whatever way possible, be it job creation, be it the pensions are coming home, and I think the foreign exchange dollars look better here than it would be abroad. And all these things, government needs to pay attention to detail and realize there is a whole resources abroad in Jamaicans who are ready to come home to live, do business, and make our country a better country. The news we're getting there, it's not good. We've been listening to you every day on our computer, and we could hear what's happening. We see it in the newspaper up there, and it looks very ugly. Jamaicans need to understand that there is a level of patriotism back there, and we're waiting to come home.
All right, sir.
You look, one other point I want to make.
Will you hold on for me? I'll have somebody take a message from you and call you back. Right? Okay? Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Good morning, Senator Macmillan.
Good morning, sir.
How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. I can barely hear you.
You can barely hear me?
Yeah, that's better. That's better.
Okay. I heard you this morning talking about the minister's address last night.
I was making a few comments.
Huh?
I was making a few comments.
Yes. And one of them that you made was had something to do with, anything that would bring about a reduction in the level of crime.
Well, what about that statement?
Well, something about it, you would be willing to see that implemented.
Certainly I didn't mean anything illegal or anything improper.
Uh-huh.
I meant that any initiative that could be used and any activity that includes various all legal means that could be used to impact on crime, obviously would be welcome.
Well, but the question is, legality is something that Parliament can determine.
Yeah.
And the question is whether we oughtn't to be very careful about the methods that we use. Crime can be an excuse for depleting the rights of citizens. In fact, it has over and over been used as such in Jamaica.
Yeah, but if you remove these people's rights, then you're not really achieving anything.
Well, that is the point.
Yes, but that's always my point. I've always said so.
But crime has been so used in Jamaica over and over, hasn't it?
Yes, but you're talking about things like state of emergencies.
Well, not only that, there have been other things like the firearm, the Act, the
Suppression of Crime Act.
No, the Suppression of Crimes Act, yes.
Was one, yes, which was not a good piece of legislation.
No. But the thing is this, that it seems to me, sir, that we need to replace a crime-ridden society with an orderly, law-abiding society.
Of course.
But then now, the nature of that order is important, is fundamental.
But Mr. Perkins, I had the good fortune and the honor to chair a task force which Mr. Golden asked me to do last year, if you remember. On it, but he asked for the year before last, actually, it was 2005. And the group of us were appointed, and we had a wide cross-section of people, very experienced Jamaicans.
Yes.
The three reasons that we put forward in the background to making our recommendations, the three things that we said were critical to Jamaica, because they are among what they commonly call the root causes. But first of all, an ineffective justice system, right?
Uh-huh.
Secondly, social injustice over the years in this country.
Uh-huh.
And thirdly, young men between the ages of 15 and 25 who are unemployed, underemployed, undereducated, etc. And until we deal with those problems, then guns and ammunition is not going to help.
Yes. Nor cameras, nor fingerprints, nor whatever.
Well, those are techniques for police work, and they are important in modern policing, no question about it. They can aid and abet, but they can also be misused.
Yes.
There's no question about that.
We hear from some very high sources, including the Commissioner of Police, about the extent of corruption in the police force.
Yeah, but that's not new, is it?
Eh?
That's not a new statement.
That's not a new thing. But then, I heard a discussion also on the Breakfast Club. I don't know if you were there then. In which it was said that, police constables are taking home salaries, sometimes equivalent to or lower than domestic helpers are getting.
But that's a statement of fact.
Yes.
In fact, I will say that in my maiden presentation...
Would you keep your voice up?
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. In my maiden presentation to the Senate, I made the point that the police force is undermanned, overstretched, and highly underpaid.
Yes.
And that's a statement of fact.
It is a fact. Now, if you take somebody on the program was saying that if you put a policeman in this position where he's overstressed and underpaid, and but you give him power, he has a gun and he has the power of arrest and whatever, you are almost holding before him holding up before him the temptation to be corrupt.
That is true. That there is it can affect some people. There's no doubt about it. And
yes.
Some people break under that stress and do things.
Yes.
However, there are people who have the same situation and don't break under that and remain very professional.
Yes.
They have a very difficult time, I must confess, but they do. As far as I am concerned, poverty doesn't necessarily mean you must be a crook. It does impact on being a crook. But
well, it is the matter of poverty. I mean, what you're making there is a moral argument.
Yeah, but it is.
But the fact of the matter, sir, is that if an order is created in which you see yourself as being victimized, and you are deprived of opportunity and whatever to make a decent living, much is expected of you, but you're getting very little in return.
Then the temptations are great. The temptations are great.
The temptations are great.
Yeah, that's a fact.
But I would like to broaden that to include the youngster down there in the
inner city.
In the inner city, right? Who is suffering possibly from nearly as bad a condition as or virtually as bad a condition as as that policeman, right? He's deprived of opportunity, right? He sees, things that he would like to have, a lifestyle that he would like to have, but he has no hope of achieving it.
Well, that is exactly why in that task force report, one of the three things which I just mentioned was the question of dealing with particularly young men, between the ages of 14, 15 and 24, 25.
Yes.
Something has to up to me, Mr. Perkins, that's the most important thing in Jamaica today. We have to give them hope.
Wait, sir. Hold on. Say that again.
We have to give them hope.
You said something about the most important thing in Jamaica
but
today.
I think it is, put it this way, one of the most important things.
No. I don't know about one of, but what you have talked about there is fundamentally important.
Of course it is. It's absolutely critical.
Hold on just a moment for me. Okay, thank you very much. We're back here, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, what you're saying is that there is no prospect for any kind of ordered society that does not offer to people more than the mere obligation to toe a line.
That's quite correct.
While they remain hungry and naked and...
That is quite correct, and that is there are examples of that throughout the world.
Yes. And Jamaica is another example of it, but
yes.
Except that we're not getting anywhere near to maintaining the order that we're proposing.
Well, it is a real problem, sir. It is a real problem.
Well, but once we understand the nature of the problem, sir, then we will have some hope of solving it, of dealing with it.
One of the things that about 4 years ago, I think it's 202, it may have been, I was part of a team which worked with a joint committee and produced a thing called...
I'm not hearing you clearly.
We produced a thing called the National Report on Crime and Violence.
Yes.
And it was that they had members of the opposition and the government in it, and 3 independent people. I was one. And we came up with a report which the politicians on the committee signed up on. But it went further up the line, and eventually Mr. Siaga and Mr. Patterson had a big signing ceremony in Parliament.
Yes.
With a document. I think it was just before the 2002 election.
Yes.
And one of the things that we had initially put in that there should be a vision for Jamaica. What do we want to see Jamaica in 5, 10, 15 years?
Yes.
And if you know what your vision is, then you can determine what you need to do to get that vision. And that was cut out, Mr. Perkins.
It was cut out?
Yes. That was cut out of the document. Not by the politicians who were in the committee with us. Hello?
Yes.
Not by the politicians who were in the committee with us, because they...
But by the signatories.
But when it came, the final document which was signed in Parliament by Mr. Siaga and Mr. Patterson did not have
that in it.
And it is not hearsay. The document is there for you to look at.
But it seems to me, sir, that we need to have in this country a common understanding of what it is that we are hoping to achieve.
Well,
right?
You see, if you don't have a vision of where you want to go, if you leave your house every morning to come to do the radio program, and you don't know where you're going, you may end up in Ottery or Montego Bay.
All over the place. Might end up in the sea.
Precisely.
But the thing is this, that everybody is talking seriously about the need to get rid of crime, to do this to crime, to do this to the criminals and all this kind of thing. And one of the things that we're not understanding in Jamaica is the extent to which it is we as a society that are manufacturing criminals.
Well,
we're taking people.
I could put it a different way. I would say that when I looked at some figures...
your voice is gone again.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, when I looked at some figures over the weekend, and my figures maybe from memory now, in 1962 the murder rate was something like 2 per 100,000.
In 1962? 2 per 100,000.
And it's now about 60 per 100,000. Or in 2005, 2006, or 60 per 100,000.
Yes.
Right? Who is to blame for that? It has to be us, the people of Jamaica. I mean, we are governed, we can say the government, we can say everything, but it is the overall responsibility of the society.
Yes. Yes, but as a society, sir, we're not confronting that problem.
I don't think so.
And if we talk about having common responsibilities, we have differences in the degree of our responsibility, to the extent that there are differences of power,
yes,
of influence in the society, right? And I contend that the problems of Jamaica don't really lie in the inner city ghetto areas, right? They lie in the more prosperous areas where people have more influence, where, the people in the university, the people on Duke Street and places like these, right? That are among those, many of them, who believe that what you must do is merely sort of catch the criminals and destroy them.
That has never worked anywhere in history. But the problem behind all of that is a thing called accountability.
Yes.
One of the greatest deficiencies in Jamaica, another great deficiency, is a lack of accountability at all levels. And I'm not talking about that in particular.
Yes. Yes.
You know, and until we hone in on things like those and really deal with them from the root causes, from the reasons, our society, so I don't think it's going to improve.
And no crime plan is going to work.
Well, I could not disagree with you with that. I can't disagree with you with that statement.
You can't?
No, I can't.
You can't what?
Disagree with you.
Oh. No crime plan is going to work. Right? Until we recognize that the whole object of a crime plan, it is part of the business of creating an orderly society. And that orderly society, the fact of its being orderly, is not the only criterion that is important about it. Right? The kind of order that it is trying to set up is equally important.
Yes, it certainly is.
Right? And it has to be an order that requires of people more than the mere towing of a line.
No, but it has to demand responsibility.
Yes. But it has to offer hope and opportunity.
For the people, precisely.
Yes. Right?
Very much so.
I entirely agree with that, sir. Thank you very much.
My pleasure, sir.
All the best to you. Okay, hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, good morning to you.
Good morning, Mr. Perkins.
Boy, you sound like you're coming from 1,000,000 miles away.
No.
Eh?
I have a problem here.
You have a problem?
Yeah, I don't know if you can help me with
Let's hear it now.
In Glengolf High School. I'm calling from Caledonia, Northeast St. Catherine.
Yes.
In Glengolf High School, there is 5 students in Caledonia, North St. Catherine, attend in Glengolf High School. Mr. Perkins, there is no transportation to take them to school. They have.
How many miles is it?
Pardon me?
How many miles?
About 7-8 miles.
Oh my gosh.
They have to wake up in 4:30, get ready in 4 o'clock, and start work at 4:30 to catch the bus in Mount Industry to go to school.
And how far is that?
From where we live to Mount Industry is about 5 miles.
So these children must wake up at what? 4 o'clock in the morning?
4 o'clock in the morning.
And walk 5 miles?
How to walk from 4:30 to reach Mount Industry to catch the market bus to go to Glengolf School.
Oh my gosh.
The time is so very dark, Mr. Perkins. They have to use the buckle torch to get on the road.
Oh yeah.
By the time they reach school, they smell of pure buckle torch smoke.
Oh yes.
In part of the Mount Industry Road, a part of it tear off some times ago. They go and then dig the bank, and by digging the bank and by the motor vehicle to pass there, it dig out. At all the time it dig out, they go and then dig it. When the rain falls, Mr. Perkins, the children cannot go to school because, you know, it's not big children now going to high school. You have to say it's start now going to high school. When the rain falls...
What school is this now?
Glengolf High School.
Oh, high school.
Yes, Mr. Perkins.
Yes.
When the rain falls, 2 is 5 of them. If 4 or 3 not go in, the other one or the other 2 cannot go because they have no company to walk.
That distance?
They have no company to walk to Mount Industry to catch the bus to go to school. When the rain fell, the river came down. They have a road lead you to the foothead bridge. That's when the rain fall, the river come down. Then don't have to go to that road. They don't have to go through the river. You go through the foothead bridge. But by the time they to go to the foothead bridge to catch on the main road and to reach Mount Industry, Mr. Perkins, the bus is already gone. They have to foot it or otherwise turn back. Mr. Perkins, we can live in this community like this?
No. Yeah, there's no reason why that should apply to that community.
Then again, Mr. President, I get to understand that madman is on the road where they're going. Sometimes man dodge in the corner and they have to run back. No big somebody is there to pass them to catch the bus. In week before last, Mr. Perkins, the rain was falling. And in that hours, when they supposed to leave out, the rain was falling. Mr. Perkins, one of them missed out of school for 3 days because they had a rest not going, and she or he alone cannot go to Mount Industry to catch the bus. There is no transportation to carry them to school.
Yes. What's the name of your district?
Caledonia District.
Caledonia.
Caledonia. It attached to Mount Industry.
And it's a what?
Pardon me?
It's what you said about Mount Industry?
We live in Caledonia. It's attached to Mount Industry.
And that is in what parish?
St. Catherine.
St. Catherine.
Northeast St. Catherine.
Who is your MP?
It was Mr. Dabdu.
Oh, it was Mr. Dabdu?
Yes, Mr. Perkins.
I see what you mean. And the children have to walk 5 miles in order to get a bus.
To get a bus, and if the bus...
And the school that they're going to is?
Glengolf
High School.
And if the bus leaves them, Mr. Perkins, they have to walk or turn back and go home.
Well, I think that this is a disgrace.
It is a disgrace, Mr. Perkins.
But if you were having World Cup cricket up there, you know, they would the government would find the money to fix the road, and they would have a bus service running there and so on. You know.
Yes, Mr. Perkins.
Anyway, I'll try and pursue the matter for you.
Okay,
all right?
Mr. Perkins.
You have a I tell you what. Can you leave a telephone number off the air, right?
Yes,
so that
Mr.
we can get in touch with you again?
Yes, Mr. Perkins.
All right. Hold on just a moment. Okay. We leave you now for the news. We'll be back here in about 20 minutes. Okay, thank you very much. We're back here online. Let's get back to our telephones. Hello? Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Yes?
Yeah, man. Mr. Perkins, man, talk to.
Yeah, speaking.
Huh?
Yes?
Mr. Perkins,
yes, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, Mr. Carl from... good afternoon, man.
Good afternoon to you.
Yeah, Carl from Norwood and St. James, Yeah, we are talking about crime plan for... Last time I listened to them, I said about crime plan for Jamaica. We don't want a crime plan. The crime plan is we need to fix the politicians, them are the criminal them.
Them are
the criminal them.
The politicians are the criminals, sir?
Yeah, them are the criminal.
What do you mean by that?
Yeah, I mean, say, alright. Look for St. James. The PNP losing at St. James the last election. The last 2 elections, and the local government and the election. And from that, St. James is going down. We have more crime, everything. I'm telling you about everything.
What is the evidence that you have of that?
Alright. The first thing they come, they got all the drugs money because they know that they are the backbone of Montego-Bay. And then now, the next thing now...
you mean when they came and took the drugs went away?
Yeah.
That is part of the problem?
The drugs man was a problem. But the next thing again, when they take out all the drugs man, them out of Montego-Bay, that knows that the backbone of them, for them politics thing. And then now because they not support them, they start coming out of the community them. After they start going on, guns start coming out of the community and everything was break down. So that means they leave the Montego-Bay to fetch for themselves. Because they not do nothing at all. Look at even the football.
The Western team don't get any sponsorship. The Western team don't get any sponsorship, so we leave, we fed for ourselves again. So that means that everything spread from the politicians and the business people that control the country. So that means that because they have a World Cup now, the World Cup now keep near the man thing over here now, and they see that a problem now for crime. But that's first, because never see man thing about a problem, everything when they're Kingston. So then see that a problem now for crime because they feel that never try to spread the system now that after the World Cup finish, we don't see no more police in the man thing over here.
No more police?
Yeah.
Why?
Because the World Cup done, that means they'll probably own again.
And the crime will flourish more?
Yeah, the crime will flourish more than that because they have no business with me.
No, but you mustn't. I mean, when they took away the big drugsmen, or so they claimed that they were big drugsmen.
Yeah.
Well, you know, if they were, it hasn't yet been proved.
Yeah.
But and that is a problem. But you know, if people were breaking the law, then the government would not have been wrong to have seen to it that they were apprehended. And
but a lot of police are breaking the law. What we do about them? What the police are do about them?
Yeah.
What the police are do about the law?
Yes. When the politicians break the law.
Yeah. What we do about them?
Well, I don't know. I don't know what.
Because we have a scandal and we have a this and we have a that. Them say if a man pick your pocket downtown, the man respond. The police don't shoot him because in do a crime against you. But when them now do a crime against the country, what the system do against them?
You don't think it's doing anything?
But no, not at all. Let's see a man. Let's see how much years now. Let's see a man. How much years now? And nobody at all knows about them because if it was set video against them, if it set video against the poor people them in the country. So that means right now. A man living in Glendevon now with the ever then. Alright. The other day they carry a portion of police come downtown, man, to be a fair. They must fight against the taxi, illegal taxi, and illegal parking. And they must concentrate the police, them ban illegal taxi, them and illegal parking. That is illegal, yes. But if you concentrate them in the community, them because them to deal with the crime and violence will affect we more.
Yes.
Because when me leave work and I go home at night time, me can't go home because I don't know what we expect in my community. But if me linger downtown now, we wait till morning, the police tell me to go home. Go home.
You can't go home at night?
You know, make no sense to go home. So I don't go home, current gone. GPS cut off the current. We don't go in one dark place.
So what do you do at night time?
You never linger in the town now till daylight.
And when daylight what? You go home?
You go home.
Then how you get back to work? By what time you get back to work?
So I tell you can get back at 7 o'clock in the morning. So I tell you go and go bed and go back to work.
Oh hell. What a hell of a life.
Yeah, but the police are not even at all about it.
And you what? Your family is at home?
Them are secure because maybe they're behind bars and doors and things. Are secure. But if you know, don't put yourself out in the dark and come in the dark, you know what you expect. I can't police shoot you, I can't Batman shoot you, anybody can expect me shoot you.
Yes.
Because the police, them crooked more than the Batman, them, you know.
The police shoot more than the Batman, them?
Them crooked more than the Batman, them.
Are you serious? Crooked?
Yeah, man, they're not straight. They don't go anything you crime can't solve. Because them crooked, they're not straight. Right now, the biggest crime the man to be right now the killing, at the credit card scam.
Credit card scam?
Yeah, he's a man to be right now. And the police 75 night more than civilian them.
What evidence you have of that?
What evidence? You want to one thing we won't ask anybody?
Well, that wouldn't be evidence.
You talk to another policeman here about the credit card scam or something. You're vindicted. They start lick you, they start beat you, because they know every night.
Boy.
And they don't care about, it was important when I came to make some money. They don't care, say, boy, it's something to secure people. If you call them, they're no business. Because if you call them for something, like a dispute or something, they're not coming up. But they hear say something to one of the man right now, credit card scam, they sure they come and they can come beat up who if the person even wrong.
Oh Lord. Oh boy. Alright, sir. Nice hearing from you. All the best to you. Okay, thank you very much. We're back here online. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yes?
Yes, Mr. Perkins.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to you.
Afternoon. How are you doing?
Not too bad.
Listen, I'm a bit, as a non-committed voter,
yes.
I am kind of disturbed about some arguments the other day I heard from the leader of the opposition.
Uh-huh.
Where he said he was at a meeting and he was getting a blow-by-blow description of what was taking place at the PNP NEC meeting.
Uh-huh.
And that was last week, Sunday.
Uh-huh. He actually used those words?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
He was getting a blow-by-blow description of what was taking place there because he said people were at the NEC meeting getting... determining whether they should call the elections now or later. No, I see this as, well, I learned today that the PNP NEC meeting was Sunday.
It was on Sunday?
Yes, so it was 1 week after Mr. Golden said he was getting a blow-by-blow description.
It was what?
1 week after. No.
Is that really so?
Yes, that is really so.
I think you're mixing up something there.
No, I am not. I am sure of what I heard. I made sure of what I heard before I called you.
Uh-huh.
Because the meeting for the PNP NEC was Sunday.
Uh-huh.
Just Sunday gone. Mr. Golden's statement was the previous Sunday.
I don't remember that, so I think you're wrong there.
No. I think you need to hear this.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
No, if somebody has to resort to such trickery, I think that is somebody who we should not trust as a leader, as a future prime minister who wants to be a prime minister of this country.
Uh-huh.
That is really, really desperate.
No, but hold on a little bit now. Are you saying that Mr. Golden did not know when the PNP NEC was going to be taking place?
I am sure he did not know, because he would not come and report to his party that was taking place that day. And that he was getting a phone call from somebody on the floor.
Hold on a little bit. I think you're mixing up two things.
Tell me what I'm mixing up.
I think you're mixing up two things.
No, tell me what I'm mixing up.
I don't think it... I don't remember.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're talking about... Yes. I think you're mixing up two different things.
Tell me what I'm mixing up.
Because I remember hearing Mr. Golding... a report of Mr. Golding saying that on the media.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure, it didn't occur to me that the meeting that he was talking about was not taking place at the time that he said he had been getting reports of.
No, he said that he was on the phone.
Yeah.
No. He said he was on the phone getting a blow-by-blow description as he speaks now.
Okay.
That meeting.
I have to check that out, but it seems to me very unlikely.
Yes, I suggest, sir, that you check it out and make sure it is aired on your program, because I listen to your program regularly.
Okay.
And I am sure that Mr. Golden is really desperate.
But hold on a moment.
And that
hold on a moment.
As a non-voter otherwise.
Let us have a conversation. Don't just use don't just use the program for propaganda, man.
No. I have nothing to propagandize.
Hold on.
I am trying to make up my mind where to vote.
But hold on a moment for me now. Now you say, Mr. Gold, the PNP, he spoke about getting information out of the NEC meeting. The NEC meeting was held just Sunday gone here.
Yes.
But he spoke about getting information coming out of it the previous Sunday.
1 week ago. One week prior
before,
to that. Yeah.
Earlier. Right? Do you think it possible that he could have made such a gaffe and you are the first person recognizing it and talking about it publicly?
Well,
Hold on. What about the Prime Minister? The ministers of government?
They did speak about
the minister of information?
No, they did speak about it on Cliffy's program.
All the people in media?
They did speak about it
Hold on a little bit.
Program.
All the people in media, right? The reporters on all the radio stations, the television stations, the newspapers, right? And all of them, none of them aware that he had made such a gaffe. All the people in the People's National Party, and you are the only person to whom this has occurred.
I suspect
something is very odd about this.
I suspect that the media might have overlooked.
No, man, that is too obvious a gaffe.
And you have overlooked it too,
Mr. No, I think you're wrong.
I am perfectly right, and I suggest that you check that out, sir.
Yes, I rather doubt that you are right.
Well, would you check it out and prove me to be wrong?
Yes. Where did he? Yes. All right. Let me check it out.
Yes. All right, sir.
That's all.
Well, that's all. Because as a non-committed voter, I want to really know.
You're a non-committed voter.
No, I'm not committed yet.
You're a non-committed voter.
No, because I don't want to vote for somebody whose integrity is questioned.
Yes.
I really don't want to do that. And I think that
hold on,
a big disservice to this country if I do that.
Hold on a moment. So you are convinced that Mr. Golding behaved like this?
Yes.
But you may yet vote for him?
It is possible. But Yes, I am saying, if what I heard on radio last night is true, then...
What did you hear on radio last night?
I heard it on Cliffy's program.
Last night?
Yes.
That what?
Yesterday.
That what?
Pardon me?
What did you hear on Cliffy's program?
Exactly what I told you earlier.
It was Cliffy's that said?
No, it was not Cliffy's. He played the tape.
He played which tape?
The tape of Mr. Golden making that statement.
Oh, hold on a moment now. He played the tape of Mr. Golding making that statement.
Yes.
Well, how do you know that statement was made last week Sunday?
Yes, because he said it.
Because he said it?
Yes, and then the Prime Minister came on after that to indicate that there was no such meeting, no PNP meeting was held then. Anyway, Mr. Mr. Perkins, let you not hear it from me. Can you have connections in the media? Can you verify this information? Because
yes.
It is true.
Okay, so the question is whether what this was said on Cliff Hughes' program yesterday.
No.
Yeah.
Go on again. No, I'm not hearing it so well. You're low.
The first question is, your authority for saying this is that it was said on Cliff Hughes' program yesterday afternoon.
Not only Cliff Hughes' program. I have heard it elsewhere.
Where else did you hear it?
Not on radio. But I think it was reported in some newspaper the Monday after he made the statement.
The Monday after he made the statement?
Yes, I can't remember finding the paper. I was trying to find the paper to quote from the paper, but as I say,
But you're saying that Cliff Hughes brought it to attention on his program yesterday?
Yes.
Am I right?
Hello?
Well, I just happen to have the tape of Cliff Hughes' program. So it would be...
Tape. Yesterday's tape?
Yes, Yeah, man. So I will go through it.
Okay.
What time was this?
Listen. I really don't keep time of these things. You're not expecting to, so you're not keeping time as to when these things happen.
Who?
You understand me? But will you verify that statement was made?
Yes, I'll check it out. I'll check it on the tape. Okay.
All right, sir.
Can you leave a telephone number with us where we can get in touch with you?
Do I need to do that on the air?
No, not on the air, just off air. Okay. And we'll call you back when we have the information.
Please do, sir.
Okay. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Perkins.
Yes?
Yes, sir. Two matters.
Yes.
Hello?
Yes?
One has to do... Sorry, I'm listening to the radio.
Yes, well, you should not do that.
Yes, I've stopped. Global warming.
Yes.
Global warming...
Hold on just a moment for me. Okay, thank you very much. We're back here on land.
Yes, Mr. Perkins.
Yes, Mom.
Global warming.
Yes.
I noticed the Bush government has acknowledged that it is taking place. Now, Bush. It is, that's going to be accompanied, of course, with a rise in sea levels. And, so it means that many of our beaches will be obliterated. And countries with rational long-term plans are not going to be building hotels on beaches now, because the rising sea level is going to take away the white sands and the different beaches. So that's something we need to think about in our long-term planning. We should be thinking of terraced tourism, where we go up the hills and up the slopes and leave the seashores alone, because it takes millions of years to form a beach. You know, the sands take a lot of time to be
yes, but are we sure that that global warming, such as it is going to be immediately calamitous?
I don't know what you mean by... Well, immediately I can't say. I don't know how long it will take for the seas to rise and the icebergs to melt and all that.
We haven't seen much of a sign of them up to now, have we?
I'm not sure.
These are predictions.
Research is being done on that.
Yes, I know, and predictions that are being made.
Well, it's inevitable that there will be rising.
Well, I don't know. How inevitable is it? Because I mean, I gather that there are technological research going on at the same time.
Oh yes.
Yeah. And I see Mr. Bush is encouraging the reduction in the level of petroleum consumption in the United States.
Right. So they might slow down the ozone
and all of that.
The destruction to the ozone layer.
So it is possible that we might escape the calamity. I don't know.
Well, it is, but we shouldn't put all our eggs on the seashore. We shouldn't put all our eggs in one basket in hotel rooms on the seashore.
Well, I don't think that we should be putting all our eggs in the tourism industry in any event.
Exactly. We go on as if it can never dry up.
Yes, indeed.
And so we modernize our airlines and we give them more money. And
tourism is a very fickle industry, Mom.
It can be, yes.
It is possible at any time for something to happen.
That's right.
That will cause tourists to stop coming to wherever, the Caribbean, Jamaica, Barbados, wherever.
Yes.
Right?
Europe, Germany.
Anywhere. I mean, anything can happen. Or something can happen that will make people afraid to come here.
That's right.
Right?
Yes.
And we shouldn't, in my view, be dependent on just one industry. That could be as fickle as that.
Could be, definitely, So
I mean, fine, by all means, have all the tourists you can, while you can.
While you can.
But make sure that you have other industries as well,
That's right. The second thing, sir, is last night I saw the reduction in crime.
You saw the reduction in crime?
Reduction in the murders or whatever that was shown by the honorable minister.
In relation to last year?
To last year, that's right. I didn't hear him, being a woman of faith myself, I was expecting him to say thank you to the churches and to various groups and initiatives that are put into this crime question, because as you have said and other persons, it's not merely a matter of the guns and the knives and so on, but it is social life and it is psychological reformation that we need. And are we getting into that area? Are we giving gratitude for the persons working in that area which is not measurable, not technologically measurable, but very, very important? I was disappointed that the minister didn't say thank you.
I don't know, I didn't think of that, but the problem is that what is it that caused? He attributes the reduction in the levels of murder, for example, last year.
Yes.
To police work.
Improvement, yes.
Right. Is that really valid? So what has happened? The police have stopped working while the rate seems to be going up?
It started to rise. That's it, And I thought that the flaw there was an unwillingness to acknowledge the psychological and spiritual.
Well, we're not sure what it is that caused that decline, as has been suggested.
Have their views on why. People of faith have their views on why.
Yes, but the people of faith must then answer the question, why is it that the rate has shot up so severely in the month of January?
Well, are they getting the support and the acknowledgement and the gratitude that bolsters efforts,
Well, I don't know that they're not. I mean, if people see these things happening and, they will be grateful to whatever it is that causes it. But the question is, what is it that has caused it, right? Why did the rates go down last year?
Well, I have suggested to you why.
Because the church is praying.
Yes, and there are other.
So what? Has the church stopped praying?
For peace.
Yes. Has the church stopped praying?
No, the church is not in charge, God is in charge of the church.
So what are you saying? That it is God that is causing this?
Certainly not. I'm saying that his hand of restraint or allowance is above even the church.
Yes, but I don't think you can blame the murders that have been occurring on God. God has nothing to do with that.
No,
that is man.
I know, but
the thing is this, that I have a suspicion, Mom.
Yes, sir.
That the fall in the murder rate last year, and it started pretty early in the year, had a lot to do with Sister P becoming Prime Minister.
Oh,
Right?
Yes.
I think that that gave rise to a new access of hope.
Wonderful.
Right?
Yes.
And I mean, if you go back over, I've often said it on this program that if you go and look at the social and economic survey, usually tabled in Parliament at the time of the budget,
yes,
one of the things that you will find is that the crime rate has tended to go down.
Yes, yes.
With a change of government.
Yes, that's right.
And as the government grows older,
yes,
it starts going up again.
So what does that indicate?
that it is associated, that the fall is associated with hope.
Hope.
A new government comes in and people are hoping for all kinds of wonderful things.
Good.
Right?
That's a dimension I would definitely agree with.
Yes, the
people
government stays in office for some time.
Yes.
And that hope is disappointed. And the rate starts going up again. Right?
Simple paradigm.
And it seems to me that one of the things that probably happened last year is that with Sister P becoming Prime Minister, and all the, first a woman from the bowels of the working class.
That's right.
People expected a lover of the poor sent by God to do these wonderful things for Jamaica.
Yes.
That people...
Their hopes rose.
Was driven up.
Yes.
And the crime eased up.
Yes.
Well, it seems that the crime is tending to go back up again. Right?
Okay, so hope is diminishing.
So the hope is diminishing.
I see.
That's a possibility.
Yes.
Right?
Well, we have to find some way to build up the hopes of our people.
That's what we need, yes.
Yes, and see that there is improvement.
And it cannot be a mere sample measures,
No, certainly not. I mean, we have had too much of that already.
Absolutely.
We have our children and our grandchildren, and we want to see better for them.
Absolutely.
We're the best for them.
Absolutely.
The best for all Jamaicans. That's what we want.
Yes.
We love them all, and we want them to come out to be, exemplary, the best in the world.
Yes.
So we who are supposed to be thinking, we say we are thinking persons, we must get to the drawing board again, or get to our knees and work this matter out. What do you say, sir?
Yes. I'm with you.
All right.
All right, Mom. Thank you very much.
One of the humbler PhDs. Good.
All the best to you. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Mr. Perkins?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Perkins?
Yes, sir.
Yes, hello?
Yes, sir.
Afternoon.
You're listening to the radio.
Mr. Perkins?
Yes.
First time on your program.
Well, I'm happy to have you.
And must tell you...
Hello?
Hello?
What is happening? So you're listening to the radio?
No, I'm not listening to the radio, Mr. Perkins.
So what is happening?
I have a bad connection, but I'm clearing it up. I'm here now, Joe.
You're having what?
I'm having you know, Mr. Perkins.
Oh, yes, okay.
I want to speak to you on the previous caller. Not this caller a while ago, the one before. Read Bruce Golding's statement made on the 21st at the Jamaica Conference Center. When he was saying that he was getting ball-by-ball information from that meeting. Yes, Mr. Perkins, it was a fact. I heard it on that news program on the very evening. And no NEC of the PNP was being held at Dintil until Sunday of the 28th. For Mr. Golding to go and utter those statements and seeking leadership of this.
Hold on just a moment for me. Okay, thank you very much. We're back with you, sir. Yes.
Yes,
hello?
Mr. Perkins.
You were saying?
For a man of Mr. Golding to go and utter.
Yes. What did you say that Mr. Golding said?
Mr. Golding said on the 21st, at Sunday the 21st of January, the conference center, he said that he is getting ball-by-ball information out of a meeting held by the People's National Party in Dintil. Right?
Out of a meeting?
Yes.
Held by the People's National Party?
In Dintil.
In Dintil?
Yes.
At Dintil?
Technical High School down by Linstead. That they are wondering and pondering about calling an election as if he's saying there's problem there. And the fact it was that there were no such meeting of the People's National Party.
Okay, hold on just a moment there. Hold on just a moment. You are not saying what that previous caller said. Because the previous caller is reading into it that Mr. Golding was talking about the NEC meeting which was held on Sunday gone here.
Okay.
Right? Now, I have checked the story.
Yes.
Right? And the truth is that Mr. Golding did make such a statement that there was a meeting of PNP officers going on, and that he had got information, and that this meeting had been called to discuss the timing of the election. Right? It made no reference, his statement made no reference to the NEC.
All right?
Right?
I'll listen to Mr. Perkins.
Now, hold on.
One sec, Mr.
Hold on just a moment. That's the statement about the PNP meeting held to discuss the election was denied by Mr. Pickersgill. I think sometime must have been on Sunday or Monday. I think the day following. Right? And it was denied again by Sister P.
The most honorable Prime Minister.
The most honorable Prime Minister.
That's correct.
She denied it. Right? And that was what was discussed on Cliff Hughes' program yesterday. Right? So, one of the problems of radio or of speech generally is that what I say is not necessarily what you hear.
I'm fully aware of that.
Yes. And that gentleman illustrates the problem. Right? The one who called. And by the way, I asked him to leave a number with us so that we could get back to him. He hung up. So he probably knew.
Mr. Perkins.
Yes.
It was really sad.
What was sad?
It was really sad to hear that utterance of Mr. Golding.
But I don't understand you.
No. If Mr. Golding want to come and tell the nation that he has some information,
yes,
he must make sure what he's saying. He must do his checks and balance.
Well, how do you know?
No, Mr. Perkins.
Hold on just a moment.
Mr. Perkins, I listen to you. he must make sure he have his checks and balance.
May I ask you a question?
I
am asking you a question about... But you can finish later on.
All right, go ahead with your question.
How do you know that the statement that he made was not true?
Well, I could simply say something similar to his story that I would have information from his meeting. But it wasn't ball by ball. But it is in fact, it's on this very same day that news clipping, right? And at the same time, Donald Buchanan, the Minister of Information, clarified that statement immediately with that radio station.
With the what?
Clarified that station that there is no such meeting.
He clarified the statement?
Yeah, so there is no such meeting of the People's National Party. There are no
No. Nobody said it was a meeting of the People's National Party.
It was a what, Mr. Perkins?
Mr. Golding said that it was a meeting of officers of the party.
Well, officers of the party, there were no meeting of the People's National Party on that.
How do you know that?
Well, I am in a position to tell you that it is credible, and I stand
What puts you in the position to say that?
Mr. Perkins, I will not divulge, but I can safely say I'm in a proper position from where I stand that there were no party meeting held on that particular day.
No. A meeting of officers of the party.
Yes, Mr. Perkins.
No, that might have been a meeting. That doesn't necessarily mean.
But Mr. Perkins, Perkins,
yes,
you're looking at the fact that it wasn't an NEC meeting, right? I am looking at Mr. Golding also stated further with that statement to say that meeting was held at Dintil.
At where?
Dintil Technical.
Well,
so the same Sunday. You're saying it's not an NEC meeting, it's an officer corps meeting. Well, and Mr. Golding further went on to say that meeting was held at Dintil. No meeting was held at Dintil.
Well, I don't know. Right?
I would love for you, Mr. Perkins, to really go back to that tape. And I know you can get to Mr. Golding. And for the best of the Jamaican electorate and Jamaican people, right? And I know you could lead in discharge. Just call Mr. Golding and ask him if he in fact made these statements. And I know
that Mr. Golding did make a statement.
The man Mr. Golding is, he will stand up and speak whatever he said, and I know he's going to agree with me. The next one, Mr. Perkins. I heard yesterday about, a matter of fact, on Sunday, the Prime Minister's $10 million travel package. And I want to applaud the government for the freedom.
No, hold on. We're not finished on the Golding thing yet, you know.
I'm finished with you on that, I'm sure.
You're finished?
Yes.
Because you've said what you want to say.
No, Mr. Perkins. What else you want to say?
I don't know. I'm in no position to tell you whether what Mr. Golding said was true. But I don't, on the basis of what you have told me, I would not jump to believe that it was untrue.
All right.
Right? So, the Prime Minister is rather jittery on the subject of elections, right?
Yes.
And the idea that she is in discussion with people in the party about calling elections.
And that's her right. And that is her right.
Fine, that is her right.
Yes.
What Mr. Golding is saying is that there was a meeting of PNP officers at which the matter was discussed, right? So I don't know what that idea of that meeting means, whether it was a formal meeting or, an informal meeting.
But Mr. Perkins,
if he said Dintil.
Mr. Perkins.
Yes?
All right. I would tell you, right? I'm speaking from a point of view where I have the facts on that side. Can you, and I know you can, for the
I gather the Prime Minister is having a meeting with senior editors as we speak in the media.
Okay.
I don't know what about.
Okay. They will report back to us and we'll hear out of that meeting. But this issue, I'm asking you just to give a call to Mr. Gold.
This is going on at Jamaica House. This is going on at Jamaica House.
Yes, no? Mr. Perkins. But I want to finish the Golding statement. Just for the benefit of us, listeners, just give Mr.
But in any event, hold on a little bit. let us suppose that Mr. Golding got some misinformation about this, right? Relied upon it and put it out. What is so damaging about that statement?
For a man of Mr. Golding, or even if it was the most honorable Prime Minister, whenever they go out to speak, they must have their checks and balance.
They must have what?
Their checks and balance. Ensure what they are going to say,
yes,
it is accurate.
But I'm sure
Mr.
that
Golding, in this statement, it wasn't accurate. It is considered misleading. Right?
But how seriously misleading? I mean,
it is very serious. Well, I consider it very serious at that level. In other words, we could say Mr. Golding is a liar.
Oh, yes?
Yes.
I see. Then what about the statements that were made in relation to Traffic Bureau?
About the statement? If,
yes.
If persons made false statement, yes, they are as guilty as Mr. Golding is guilty. If
when
they are false statement made in Traffic Bureau, they are as guilty
when the
as
Attorney General, for example, said that had he known what he now knows, he would not have behaved as he did or said what he did. What about that?
What about that?
Yeah.
If you found that that's a statement which is not fit or incorrect, he is guilty as well. But I want you to take back to my point here, Mr. Perkins.
Hold on. He is a liar. He's a liar.
If you so deem it fit to say that statement is incorrect, he is guilty as Mr. Golding?
Yes, of lying.
Well, if you deem it fit.
But hold on a little bit. You know what a lie is? What is a lie?
Tell me. Tell me.
No, man. You use the word, you must know. You use the word, you must know.
No, no. I use the word, but I don't know. You tell me. Maybe I'm quoting an incorrect text.
To begin with,
yes,
a lie involves the purveying of misinformation.
Yes.
Right? If I tell you a lie, it means that I have told you something that is not true.
Yes.
But it isn't every statement, every incorrect statement, that is a lie. Yes.
That's your interpretation. But anyway,
No. Hold on a little bit, man.
Mr. Perkins.
No, hold on.
Mutty.
I said you hold on. I have told you that it is not every incorrect statement that is a lie.
If it is not a lie, tell me what it is then. Is it true?
A lie involves the deliberate purveil of misinformation with the object of deceiving. Right?
You're describing the statement on Sunday?
No.
Yes,
I am saying, hold on a little bit, sir. In other words, the person who tells a lie has to know that the information that he is putting out is not true.
Well, I don't.
If I put out information,
hold on, Mr. Golding, on that statement.
Hold on a little bit. If I put out information that is not true, thinking it to have been true, then I haven't lied. No.
Well, the previous one, that is a critical description of the statement made at the conference center by the opposition leader, Mr. Bruce Golding. And I would love to close.
But how do you know that he was deliberately lying?
Well.
And what would be the point of it?
Well, for that.
Anyway, let's leave that. You have something else to go on to.
Next one. On Sunday, the Gleaner have an headline.
Hold on, I'm being asked to take a break. Thank you very much. We're back with you.
Yes, Mr. Perkins. The PM's $10 million trip.
The what?
The PM $10 million trip.
Yes.
The headline of Sunday, please.
A $10 million trip?
10 million. Not PM's 10 million trips. This reporter, Mr. Tyrone Reid, and I heard it in the media. I think, Mr. Tyrone Reid, I'm not a journalist, you are. But I think Mr. Tyrone Reid and the persons at the Gleaner needed to do some additional...
Keep your voice up for me.
Needed to do some additional work. When I read in this article, it gives me the impression of if the Prime Minister get get a per diem, which is not in keeping with the government.
When you read the article, yes, you got the impression
that the Prime Minister had taken more per diem than she normally
the per diem was what? $1,500 a day, US?
Well, right. The next thing, Mr. Perkins.
Now, what is it that makes you think that that what she was getting as per diem was permitted by statute, by law, or whatever?
The information I got, and I made some checks personally, and I was made to aware that the Prime Minister per diem was in keeping with the law.
You were made to believe that?
Yes.
Who is it that made you believe that?
No, I can't divulge that information.
You can't divulge that?
But
you expect us to take your word for it and the word of a person whose name you are not prepared to divulge?
No.
But the government has not... Hold on. Has the government made... Hold on. Has the government or the Prime Minister herself made any statement saying that what she got as a per diem was permitted by law?
Well, if my memory serves me, the Minister of Information is the person who gives information on behalf of the government. He also represents the government.
And he
did said that.
He said that?
Yes. Check last night.
When did he say?
Check last night.
Last night?
Last night, news clipping. No.
Hold on just a moment. And did he indicate precisely what it was that the law said on the matter?
I didn't get you. Somebody come in on your line.
No, it's all right. The Prime Minister is entitled to a per diem of $1,500 US.
Well, well, the statement he made last night told me that.
Told you that? What was it that the statement said?
Right. The per diem, he did not quote the figure, but the check.
He didn't quote the figure? He didn't quote the figure?
No, I don't remember. But the Prime Minister was acting in the law. But outside of that motive, I heard about the hotel that the Prime Minister stays. Irrespective of what or who is there. The Prime Minister is the Prime Minister. She's a head of state.
Yes.
Right? No. You'll have to have security checks and security detail arrangement. And I'm hearing people questioning $900 for a room of the Prime Minister. I think that is utter rubbish.
$900 US?
Yes.
That strikes me as a fair amount of money.
No, Mr. Perkins. With all respect, Mr. Perkins.
And
you want to be you would want your Prime Minister to just go and settle. I'm not looking at the elaborate thing, I'm looking at the fact of security.
Yes.
Right? You wouldn't want your Prime Minister to go into an hotel which is not safe and secured, and at the same time...
But I don't know that...
Perkins, let me...
Hold on a little bit.
Mr. Perkins.
I don't know. I have no reason for assuming that if they price for a law, the hotel would not be safe.
Well, I have confidence in the persons who look after the Prime Minister's trip, also the Prime Minister. And even for Mr. Golin, a simple decision like that, if he was Prime Minister and rake up that bill, I would have confidence in Mr. Golin in making such decision. That if he received 3 quotations, right? He will have the Jamaican people at heart and make such a decision. And the decision with this one, it is because of the safety of the head of state. You have to look into those things. And in anywhere in the world, anywhere you have a head of state visiting a country or visiting anywhere, you have to check for that person's safety.
But look here. You know that in Singapore, the Prime Minister traveled first class. I gather that in Singapore, ministers are prohibited from traveling first class. They travel economy, right? And I take it that affects the Prime Minister also.
Are you sure on that, Mr. Perkins?
That's my understanding.
Okay, and you're not sure on that.
That's my understanding.
For this particular case, for this particular case, say that is one example. Check the world. Apart from Mr. Bush might have an aircraft for himself, but if he doesn't have one, would you like Mr. Bush to go down, say to London, and stay in an hotel which is not secured?
Look here, sir. Which is not secure? But she has security guards with her.
But she can have her security guard, but the security guard is being hampered by the space or the location.
By the way,
you have to look at that.
Look here, don't talk rubbish.
It is not rubbish, Mr.
The price of the hotel room is not what determines her security.
It also it also helps.
And if
also helps, it's a major part, Mr. Perkins.
No. She has security guards accompanying her.
Yes.
And I believe that if she can get security assistance from the United States government if she's in the United States. Which she normally does then. What?
Which she might normally,
Yes. Okay? So her spending all this money. In any event, the question is, sir, what is the benefit that has accrued to Jamaica from all this expenditure?
Well, the minister had also stated last night, which I heard on the clipping, for example, the Brazil trip. The trip to Brazil is $100 million line of credit. The Prime Minister have other obligation in CARICOM and other places, right? And in
respect $100 million line of credit.
Yes, but I'm not going there. I know we're going. I'm not going that road now.
For which we're going to have to pay.
I'm speaking on the Prime Minister's $10 million bill. I'm speaking on the PM $10 million bill. But Mutty, irrespective of what, it could even Mr. Golding or anyone, we have to check for those. And in the report on Sunday, I see where that reporter failed to gather such information.
You see where what?
I've seen where that reporter failed to gather such information, and the editor, that headline would even be there. And also, you have to, I think that they needed was to even to match. We go the gender route now. A male and a female. The female leader would need more persons around, even one more, to assist her in her personal duties, right? More than even us males. You understand? You have to look in all those aspects. I don't want to spell out that on radio, but you and I know that as well. But Mr. Perkins,
look here,
I wish for journalism in Jamaica to be very much in depth. I will try to carry out the information as
yes, well, possible. If Sister P, she's going to cost, her travels are going to cost $10 million in 7 months. And she didn't go to Europe, where she was to have seen, she was to have gone to a number of places, including Rome, to see the Pope. If she had done that, it would have cost perhaps another 2 or 3 million.
And she was knocked for that, and we are all speaking out.
No, it is not.
You're all speaking out.
Don't talk rubbish, sir. It isn't that she was not for that. What? She was jolly well going. Until the traffic bureau. Until the traffic bureau thing arose. She backed out of that trip.
Well, if I am not prepared enough
she backed out of that trip
and I don't have
because of the embarrassment of traffic bureau.
I don't have a problem with the PM backed out on that trip. If you are not prepared, don't attend.
She would otherwise have gone.
If you are not prepared,
and what I'm saying is that if in 7 months her traveling cost Jamaica that amount of money, then what would it have cost in 5 years?
Well, you cannot again use this 10 million figure and apply to the
Why?
She has just entered entered as Prime Minister.
Yes.
You're going to have a lot of persons. She's the first female Prime Minister.
But she hasn't yet seen. She hasn't yet seen President Bush.
You know that the most honorable Prime Minister now.
She hasn't yet seen President Bush. She hasn't yet seen Mr. Blair.
Patrick Manning
or his successor.
Patrick Manning.
She hasn't yet seen the French president,
Mr.
nor the European.
You could call Lord Jesus now.
Right.
But she
hasn't yet seen the president of China.
An important.
Right. She hasn't yet been to Japan to see the Japanese president.
Yes, Mr. Perkins.
Right? But what a hell of a lot of money.
But you could call on Lord Jesus. She hasn't seen him yet.
Anyway, so.
Mr. Manning is equal to Mr. Bush and the Prime Minister in England or wherever.
No.
Takes time. No.
Mm-hmm. She can get... if she has a problem and she phones Mr. Bush, and having sort of given him a few kisses, and hugs, there's a potential for getting more out of Mr. Bush than she could get from Mr. Manning. Don't you think so?
I think you need a kiss from the Prime Minister.
Who?
You. Anyway, Mutty, one last thing before I go.
Yes.
We need to move away from this thing.
From what?
This thing. I think we need to move away from this style of how we practice politics and governance.
Oh, is that so?
Country.
I would agree with that.
Huh?
I would agree with that.
Watch me now. The Minister of National Security, Dr. Peter Phillips, was earmarked to make a presentation to the nation on crime and violence in this country. Why is the morning of that address the JLP run to make a statement on the same issue?
Hold on just a moment for me. Okay, thank you very much. We're back here online.
Yes, Mr. Perkins. Hello? Hello?
Yes.
Oh, yes, Mr. Perkins. I was saying that the Minister of National Security earmarked to make a presentation to the nation last night.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, there is the opposition spokesman on national security.
On what?
National security, Mr. Derek Smith.
Yes.
Called a press conference on the morning as if you have a run jostle to say who will make the better presentation. I think we need to move away from those style of politics. I think the two persons need to sit down together. Mr. Smith should be able to call Mr. Phillips and put his counter proposal.
And
don't rush this thing about crime. Don't color crime.
Hold on. Whose responsibility is it to be Minister of National Security?
Crime is not a problem for. It is not a Mutty Perkins crime or a my crime or it is a Jamaican crime.
Look here, sir. Yes. Mr. Smith is free to hold press conferences whenever he will, right? And I wondered too what the business of him having his press conference on the morning. But it would seem to me that he was offering fuel to Dr. Phillips. That when he held his press conference on the morning, right? He was providing Dr. Phillips. I mean, instead of holding it afterwards, leaving Dr. Phillips to say what he had to say, and then he would have had the opportunity to be critical of it. He gave Dr. Phillips what was in his mind, so that Dr. Phillips might have thought about it and altered what he had to say and so on in accordance with what.
Let us not go
and to his advantage.
Mr. Perkins,
right?
Let us not go there.
Let us not go there. I really do not see.
No.
Hold on. I don't see. Tactically, I didn't think it a good idea. But otherwise, I see nothing wrong with it.
Well,
right?
You don't see it as a good idea.
No.
And yet you don't see.
But there's a gentleman who wants to join the conversation.
Yes, but before we
hello?
share this part with you.
Hello? What?
Hello.
Hello?
Hello, Mr. Perkins.
Yes. Hello,
Mr.
sir.
Perkins?
Yes, Mr. P. 630.
Yes.
Before you join, let me clear you on something.
I want to join this caller.
Yes.
Before you go, caller.
And is he listening? Is he hearing me?
I'm not hearing you well, caller, but before you go, let me say something to Mutty, please. We know that statement made by the Minister of National Security is not a live statement.
It's not a what?
That it wasn't carried live.
It was what?
It wasn't carried live. It was a recorded statement.
Yes. So what?
So what you're saying that it is some way. I think instead of Mr. Smith goes on the air to tell...
Oh, come on. Don't be foolish.
No.
Come on. Mr. Smith is free to go on the air whenever he wants to.
And thanks for the government of the day.
Yes, all right. Okay, listen to what the caller is saying now.
Mutty. All right, go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, hello, Mr. P.
Yes,
hello,
go ahead.
Mr. P. Yes, 630 here, sir.
Uh-huh.
And I wanted to join the conversation with this caller because I've been listening to this caller, and this caller definitely has a pattern. Caller, are you hearing me?
I'm straining, but I'm...
You can't hear me?
I'm oddly hearing it, but I'll straighten nonetheless.
Okay. Mr. Perkins, can you hear me?
I'm hearing you. Not very well, but...
Okay. Okay. I want the caller to hear me. Let me see if I can do anything to make this better. Is that any better? Let me just go ahead because I'm not sure if I can make this any better, but I'm, doing the best I can. I want to ask the caller one question. The question to the most honorable Prime Minister about the money being returned to Trafigura. What does that caller say about the Prime Minister's response to that? Let me hear the caller and that, Mr. P.
Hello?
You heard him?
No, you repeat and I'll hear you.
He's asking you about the Prime Minister's response to the question regarding the return of the Trafigura money. What is your view on that answer that she gave?
Well, your response, yes.
Well, you're taking me outside of Mary, but I'll answer you nonetheless. No, that statement is short of... If you don't understand the structures of the party, you will get a wrong signal. But it's somewhat needed was to explain some more.
If what?
If you do not understand the structures of the People's National Party, you would have been misled or something of the other. You won't get the correct answers you want to feel.
Oh, is that so?
Nothing is not wrong with this statement. It doesn't need some explanation.
What is it about the structure of the People's National Party that determined that answer?
Well, you have the Prime Minister in our own right as Prime Minister. You have the President of the People's National Party, the President. However, she's the same person, but at the time she was speaking to as Prime Minister at the time.
So what she ought to have said then?
Well, when she refers to the party, she could easily refer you to the General Secretary of the party, the President of the People's National Party. Let me clear you. The President of the People's National Party is not the person who runs the day-to-day affairs of the party. That person is to ensure that the constitution of the party is upheld by all members.
Hold on, caller.
The General Secretary of the party runs the day-to-day affair.
Hold on. So the General Secretary runs the party without the President's knowledge?
No, but if she have given instruction to the party, it can be given to the General Secretary. If she have given instruction to the party, it is the ultimate responsibility of the General Secretary to carry out that instruction.
But could I ask a question?
So why...
Hold on.
So Mr. Perkins, hold on. Hold on, Mr. Perkins. So I just want to put this question in. So why didn't the Prime Minister say in that response, I couldn't tell her what to say, but one
would have thought that the Prime Minister would have given a more acceptable response in the form of, well, I instructed the General Secretary to return the money, and I have to follow up to see what was done. Why did the Prime Minister put us all off in saying, ask the PNP, which she is the President? That's very inappropriate. Answer.
Well, if you don't know the structure, you will consider it inappropriate, but if you know the structure, you will consider it acceptable.
Paul, are you talking foolishness?
No, you are talking foolishness. You don't know the structure of the party.
They were talking to the President of the party.
No, they were addressing her as Prime Minister today.
No.
President. She was
the President of the party. And the Prime Minister are the same person.
Yeah, but they were addressing her as Prime Minister of the country.
No.
Mr. Perkins, it looks like we have to have two hats for some of these people in the Prime Minister's cabinet and the members of government.
Because what he's suggesting, sir? What he's suggesting?
We have to get a hat for A.J. Nicholson as legal advisor to the PNP with one hat, and the Attorney General with another hat.
Thank you very much,
the Prime Minister has to have another hat.
Caller, thank you very much, and I will say this to you again. You will be misled if you do not understand the structure. But you can go on the website and you will see the structure of the People's National Party. Then you will say something else.
But sir, you're not making any sense because you're actually isolating.
Nothing is wrong.
You're isolating the President of the PNP from the Prime Minister.
No. If you're a member of the party, you have to go to the delegate session of the party of that amendment. But on this
that is foolish.
I want to clear your Nothing is wrong with A.J. Nicholson holds the position of Attorney General and legal advisor to the party.
Let me tell you. Let me tell him.
You know, sir.
No. You said something.
The point is not worth discussing anymore. We're wasting time on it.
The People's National Party. I implore you. It's open to all Jamaicans.
Mr. Perkins.
Yes.
Mr. Perkins, let me tell him what is wrong. Are you hearing me, caller?
Yes.
Caller?
Yeah, go ahead.
The Attorney General represents who?
The state.
The state, meaning the people. The people.
Yeah.
The legal advisor of the PNP represents who?
No, you are wrong. The legal advisor is there. The legal advisor.
I'll ask you a question.
I'm telling you now, the legal advisor is there to interpret the constitution of the party wherever necessary is called upon. He's not there to represent no one in the People's National Party on any party matter.
No, nobody said that. I said the legal advisor advises who represents who.
No, you're wrong.
What does the legal advisor of the PNP
legal advisor is there. His sole responsibility is to assist in the interpretation of the Constitution of the People's National Party. He is not someone to assist in any legal representation.
So he doesn't advise the party on the law?
No, the Constitution that
the party. Hold on. He doesn't advise the party on the law of Jamaica? If the party is proposing an action, and the legal advisor to the party would not advise the party as to the legality or propriety of that action
in law? Perkins, and if you know the PNP well, no, please allow me. If not necessarily.
Right.
And if you know the party
well,
there are a lot of lawyers in there, so they're assisted when that time come at the NC level, at the executive level, and at the group level.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much. Hello?
Mr. Perkins.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Perkins. Yes, it's very odd. Well, it shouldn't surprise me at any point in time that this gentleman has some apologetics for every single thing.
Well, you know, he's obviously a party man, and he's putting forward a part of you. You know.
I am sure if I see him, I don't know him. He might be as big as a rhino.
I don't know. Right? I have no idea.
Right. I am not saying anything else, but the fact is, you can tell he's trying to sound like he's fair, but you can tell that he's just a high-level man.
He's a party man, and
genetically
connected. he has a party perspective and so on.
Yeah, he needs
Nothing
to take off
strange
the
about
blinkers
it.
and the blinders, though. He needs to take off the blinders and see the reality of what's going on in the country.
All right, okay.
All right?
Okay.
Okay, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. All the best to you. We take a break, we come back. Thank you very much. We're back here online. We have some email.
Yes, Mr. Perkins.
Wow.
Good afternoon. Dear Mr. Perkins, good day to you. I'm living in Industry Pen housing scheme in 3 Hills, St. Mary for the past 2 years now. I have a problem with the Water Commission. I have
Hills,
not...
St. Mary.
3 Hills, St. Mary.
Oh, 3 Hills.
Yes.
I don't know that.
I have not received water for over 1 month now. There is water all over the scheme, but no water comes to my lot and a few others next to me. Sometimes we have no water for 2 to 3 months, and when the water does come, it only lasts a few hours. Mr. Perkins, water is 4 lots away from me right now, and I still can't get any. My husband has called countless amount of time to the Water Commission, and nobody turns up to rectify the matter. Mr. Perkins, I don't know what else to do. Please use your program to help me.
Well, I suggest that instead of call, you should write.
It seems as if there's I phoned them. There seems to be some problem with the pipes there.
What problem?
Enough piping. The piping seems not to be finished or something, or broken in the scheme.
So why don't they do something about it?
They're working on it.
They're working on it for so long?
Mr. Perkins?
No, we have to try and get the Water Commission at some point.
I did what I just told you. They're working on it.
Yes, I know, but...
Good afternoon, sir.
I'd like to have them on here.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
What hangs on what Mr. Goulding said about the meeting in Dint Hill?
I really don't know. And I don't know what is there in it that would give Mr. Goulding a motive for lying about it.
One thing that must be said, he had the venue right. Now, Mr. Perkins, as I heard it last week on Nationwide, Mr. Goulding said there was a meeting going on of PNP officers to plan and strategize for the coming election.
Yeah.
Possibly to come up with a date which they could suggest to possibly to the party. Now, Mr. Perkins, Mr. Pickersgill later denied that such a meeting took place, but are you telling me that it would be entirely unthinkable if a grand NEC meeting is going to happen the next week, that the ground workers, the campaign organizers and the field workers in that area would not meet to get their stuff together in preparation for the NEC meeting?
Yeah, well...
Could it be that we are speaking about 2 different meetings?
Mm-hmm.
As I understand it, Mr. Goulding did not say that it was a meeting of the NEC.
Yes, that's my understanding too.
Mutty, I heard our beloved and esteemed Prime Minister on Cliff Hughes' Nationwide program yesterday, responding to the Sunday Gleaner's articles about her $10 million traveling expenditure in her 7th-month tenure. The presentation was pitiful, to say the least, and brought into sharp focus how out of depth our beloved Prime Minister is. When I heard the Prime Minister of my country telling a reporter that her husband doesn't know how much she receives per day or how much pay she gets for being Prime Minister and how much she loves to sleep in her bed, and about the gift of a credit card given to her by her husband and a raft of other personal trivialities, I felt a groping pain in my stomach. How on earth could the Prime Minister of a country find herself in a situation like this and to be responding in such a manner to a question which has to deal with official affairs? It was about the overspending of travelling allowances. That was the question. My embarrassment was compounded at one point when I heard the reporter trying to conclude the interview, and Madame Prime Minister demanded that he stay longer to hear other things she had for public amusement. It is now evident to all that Lady Huggins needs help, and needs it really fast. Someone has to come to her rescue and give her a crash course as to how she should conduct herself in this kind of situation. I find it almost unbelievable for someone to have been in the limelight of the political cut and thrust for over 40 years and not being able to manage a situation so mild. If one should listen back to the interview, it would be noted that the reporter did not ask the Prime Minister 3 questions, yet she went off the hook to provide the nation with a clear window into her mind. I'm making a suggestion to the Prime Minister. I believe, Madam Prime Minister, that you should start reading and listening on a global level. Emancipate yourself from what you think you know and stop being so simple-minded and headstrong. Start listening and reading, and believe me, if you do this for 1 week, I guarantee you a world of change. Perkins, what did Sister P do you? Because you never said nothing good about what she's doing in Jamaica. And I'm not saying that she do a lot of good, but she must do some good. I'm living in New York City, but I listen to you every day, and I can say you can come to the USA in 4 years and turn your life around. But in Jamaica, things was very hard. But I think we should give Sister P a chance.
Giving somebody a chance can be very expensive, you know. And before you give somebody a chance, you should try to ensure as far as possible that that person will make good use of that chance. And what seems to be happening here is that Sister P has become Prime Minister. There were high expectations of her. Whether justified or not is another matter. But what is happening is that she is not turning out to be the person that some of us thought she might have been. And she doesn't seem to have, she gives the impression of being entirely out of her depth. As with that conversation in which she talks about, she's being asked about matters of public policy, and turns up talking about her husband giving her a credit card and not knowing how much money she makes and all this kind of rubbish. What is the relevance of that to what she was being asked?
Good morning, Mr. Perkins. And
it seems to me that one of the first things one needs in taking responsibility for a job like that of Prime Minister is to be able to distinguish between what is relevant and what is irrelevant, what is important, what is trivial, and so on. And one questions whether she is showing a capacity for that.
Good morning, Mr. Perkins. If a corrupt police force cannot investigate themselves, how can a corrupt government come up with a crime plan that will have a positive and powerful effect on crime? Answer, it can't. This administration lacks, and in fact does not have, the moral authority to speak to anything related to crime. Just look at the scandals and the total arrogance and contempt they show to the majority of Jamaicans every day when we rightfully demand answers. Sadly, this crime plan has been working with great efficiency in criminal networks across this island. I hope the government stays the course and really gets some results this time.
What is he saying? Which crime plan is that?
The crime plan that has been working is that of the criminal networks across the island.
Oh! Oh, Lord, for us.
Hello, Mr. Perkins. I always admire your approach to issues. As I've said on occasion, I feel sorry for God. Our Prime Minister claims that she was sent, appointed by God, and she has certain religious persons supporting her. Let them think on these portions of the scripture. Proverbs 29:16. When evil people are in power, crime increases, but the righteous will live to see the downfall of such people. Is it coincidental that under the PNP, Mr. Manley, Mr. Patterson, nor Mrs. Simpson Miller, an increase in crime is the norm? 2. Proverbs 29:18. A nation without God's guidance is a nation without order. Happy are those who keep God's law. What has Mrs. Simpson Miller done since taking office to show that she is indeed guided by God?
Well, that's a question that somebody should put to her.
There's a time signal coming up. Mr. Perkins, I may have passed this on before, but I think it needs repeating. In 1984, George Orwell wrote, quote, "The party seeks power entirely for its own sake. It is not interested in the good of others. It is interested solely in power. Power is not a means. It is an end. One does not establish a dictatorship to safeguard a revolution. One makes the revolution in order to establish a dictatorship. The object of persecution is persecution. The object of torture is torture. The object of power is power." In these times, those words are instructive. And as Ben Franklin said, the person who would give up an ounce of freedom for security deserves neither freedom nor security.
Something in that. Okay, it's time for Business Online. We'll be back here in a few minutes. Okay, thank you very much. We're back here online. A little delayed because of some difficulties with equipment and so on. Anyway, hello?
Hello, Mr. Perkins.
Yes?
First time caller here.
Yes, would you speak up though for me?
Yes, Mr. Perkins, I'm real disappointed in you last week when that lady in Bermuda had the accident to the hospital, and first of all, I thought you should have sent out your condolences to the lady first on behalf of Jamaica, because we all ain't savage in Jamaica. And
I didn't?
Yeah, you didn't. I know you're a responsible journalist, and you and Miss Gluda need to know that millions of people are listening to you and your views. It doesn't really, I don't think it's fair for you to pour down your views upon people. We should do this politics thing in Jamaica as Jamaicans, not PNP and JLP, because that is what is destroying us. Mr. Derek Smith this morning came on. Instead of him giving instruction as to how we can solve the crime problem, you're being critical. That is what we need to stop in Jamaica and start thinking as Jamaicans first and foremost. You don't find an American with all they doing hating America. You don't find them hating Canada. But us Jamaicans, every single thing we do, Jamaica this, Jamaica that.
I don't understand you, sir. People are being critical. of what they think is deserving of criticism.
It is fine in being critical, you know.
So what are you complaining about?
At the same time, let us give constructive criticism so that Jamaica can move forward.
What is constructive criticism?
All right, if I was Mr. Smith, since your way of handling it isn't correct, or I don't see fitting, I should come up and tell you what offer I have or how I will solve the problem. Don't criticize and say the same old thing I've heard before.
But hold on, sir.
Okay.
Criticism implies an alternative.
True. Give it to me. Give it to me.
No, but hold on.
That is what
No, hold on a moment. Hold on a moment.
All right.
If you are wearing a pair of trousers and you ask me how they look, and I tell you that they are too tight or too short or whatever, right? Doesn't that imply an alternative?
Yes. Yes, it does.
Well, that is true of criticism generally, right?
True, Mr. Perkins.
And hold on.
Sides keep criticizing.
Hold on a moment.
Right.
Hold on a moment. Okay, thank you very much. We're back here online.
Mr. Perkins.
Yes, hello?
Yes, sir.
So, let me ask you something. Is it then the opposition's view to spoon-feed the government?
No, you see, we're not supposed to look at it as being the government.
Is the government...
Does the government... being Jamaican.
Is it... Hold on a little bit. Didn't the government come and ask the people to give them their vote and to make them the government of Jamaica, and they would govern the country?
Repeat that, sir?
Did the government not come and ask the people to put them in office as government, and that they would run the country in a satisfactory way?
So that is clearly so. And they have been 18 years
is
now.
it not the government's responsibility to do that?
It is. But
and if it can't do that...
It is also us as citizens of Jamaica, the first and foremost secure Jamaica. It's not just a government problem. It's each citizen protect each other citizen's life.
Yes.
Now, just like how you had Mr. Macmillan came on and he gave you a 3-pointer as to the inner city kids ages between 15 and 25, as to wages of the police officer to remove corruption. Yeah, pointers like those. Now you showing me an alternative. Don't just criticize. Give me an alternative. That is what Jamaica is looking out for now.
So what? Hold on a little bit. Is the government out of ideas, are you saying?
It would appear so.
You think it is?
It would appear.
Then if it is out of ideas, what you should be calling upon it to do is to resign.
You see, we need to stop thinking about politics.
No, it's not a matter of politics, sir.
But that is
if the government does not know what to do about a national problem, as serious as the problem of crime.
It's not that the government don't know what to do.
Then
the measures that is needed to
then if the government knows what to do, why doesn't it do it? And why are you calling upon the opposition to tell it what to do?
So that in the voting public that they will see that there's an alternative. You do not just come and criticize and expect somebody's going to vote you in. Tell me what you would do if it was you in that position.
No. The opposition owes that to the people of Jamaica to tell them. When it is asking them to put it,
that Mr. Smith
when the opposition comes to the point of asking the people of Jamaica to vote for them and put them in office, then it tells them what it would do about these things.
Oh, and that's the way you see progress will be made?
How you mean? How you see progress
You don't think we'll make more progress if right now, if all of us was just thinking Jamaica and forget PNP and JLP and try to solve this problem where the 2.7 million of us can live peacefully instead of thinking PNP and JLP. Okay? From a long time I have been thinking that it's best Mr. Pernell Charles, Transport Minister, Horace Daly, whatever, you pick the best one for the best.
So you're calling upon the opposition to take responsibility for government without having power?
By giving people alternative ideas. By giving empowering the citizens alternative ideas. So that whenever time the next poll come, we will know what to do.
No, if you want the opposition to be responsible for running the country, then put them in office. If you want the PNP to be in office, then look to the PNP to make the decisions and, inform itself as to how best to make them.
Oh boy, Mr. Perkins, we're in a very sad day, man. This is a very sad day. Whenever time we got to be thinking about.
It's a very sad day.
Yes, it is. With so much, we just gone, 30 days? 100 and something people die already?
13 what?
Only 30 days in the year so far.
Yes.
And if we have 100 and something people die.
Over 120.
No, we got to stop thinking about politics and start thinking about Jamaica. When we do that, tourism is going to suffer, investment is going to suffer. Then when nobody's here, we aren't too far from Haiti, you know.
But you know, sir, a lot of us have been saying for a long time how much the country is falling into decay and disrepair.
But we are standing by and criticizing instead of throwing a hand in, throwing a brain in.
But when you criticize, sir, you are implicit in your criticism is an alternative.
Okay, I see your point now.
What?
I see where you're getting.
You agree with me on that?
I would agree with you.
Yeah, then what the devil are you talking about?
No, but that only works when they're intelligent people to make the decision.
Oh, so you don't think that members of the government are intelligent?
In the campaign and they make the same old decision?
You don't think that the members of the government are intelligent?
Hell no.
You don't?
Hell no. Hell no. Okay, ask you a question about your travels and you're going to tell me something left field and you tell me you have intelligence? Again, you're supposed to come out with a new plan because in 30 days we have so many crimes and you're supposed to come out with some stiff measures, some curfew in whichever area and getting the police force up to speed. You come here and tell me the same old thing you told me 2 years ago. And you tell me you have intelligence? Is it either you have it or you ain't using it?
Well, sir, I don't see what the point would be of providing information to such people, because if you haven't got intelligence, hold on, if you haven't got intelligence, information is not going to be very helpful to you. Right.
You completely deliver even more now. We're even more bleak than 10 minutes ago. Anyhow, Mr. Perkins, I only hope that somebody with some sense will come and forget about politics and start thinking about Jamaica, this beautiful island of ours.
Yes.
And start forgetting about politics and start thinking for us before it's too late and we have a revolution or something crazy down here. Somebody need to wake up soon, you know.
Yes,
it's
I agree.
Only 2.7 million people and we have 130-something deaths by violent means.
Yes.
That's ridiculous. And we ain't at war. When we look at CNN and see Baghdad, 20 people, it's so appalling. But it's the same thing happening right at home and they're at war.
Yes. You're right.
Anyhow, have a nice day, Mr. Perkins.
Thank you very much. The same to you. Okay, hello?
Hi, Mutty.
Hi.
Mutty, I take a totally different tack from your previous caller.
Take what?
I take a totally different view and tact from your previous caller.
A totally different
view? He's saying that we ought to forget about politics. No, Mutty, I disagree. I disagree on the basis that politics to me is about who manages the affairs of my country.
That is quite true.
And if I don't pay attention, it's like writing a blank check every 5 years, and I refuse to write a blank check even to myself. You understand?
Yes.
Now, what he is saying about Mr. Smith's presentation and about the run just and all of that is not so. The opposition has to do its job as an opposition to the government.
Yes.
But the Labour Party has to also do its job as a party seeking the vote of the people.
Yes.
And I think what is happening is that not enough people understand and recognize that there's the Labour Party and then there's the opposition. Even though the Labour Party forms the opposition. The role of Labour Party is seeking the vote.
May I add something to that? Part of the problem is that people look, and it was plain in that, on reflection, in that what that gentleman was saying. People look at the person seeking political office as self-seeking. He's seeking political office in order to further his own and his party's interests, not the interests of the country. Right? So, politics has an ugly flavor.
That's right.
In that sense.
That's right.
Right?
What we need to do is
you're
get
not,
away from
when you're seeking office, you're not seeking office or you're not regarded as seeking office in order to help the country. Right?
Mutty, when we get to the point where we start considering politicians to be hired help,
yes,
we'll be far, far better off.
Yes,
because that is generally what they are.
Yes.
I manage a company. I hire you to do a certain function because I cannot do it myself.
Yes.
Because all of us, 2.7 million of us, can't do it.
Can't do it. So we need
people to do it.
Yes.
Right? Now, when you hire a man to do something, you just basically give him the job and let him go do whatever him feel like?
No.
Right. You manage him.
Yes.
You make him report to you. Right?
Yes.
These are the sort of things. Now, I was driving along and listening to your program, and I guess Hope Road must have lined them up to call you today. Because I cannot believe that they are making such worth of a statement that was made about, to be honest with you, Mutty, let me put it this way. There are things that I see coming out of the government, and things that I see coming out of the Labour Party, and there are things that I, as a patriotic Jamaican, will say this. I no longer wish to have any one person or group of persons decide when my election should be. I want a fixed election date so that this foolishness that they were on and on about this man about Mr. Golding saying something about when election was going to call our peace meeting about election. That is a non-issue.
I have a bit of a problem with that.
5 people were murdered in Montego Bay yesterday. That's an issue.
I have a
Whether
problem.
Mr. Golding said something about when election was going to call, that is a non-issue to me, Mutty.
I have a problem with the fixed election date. Given the Westminster system that we operate, right? Because I don't know that how readily adaptable the Westminster model system would be.
Well, Mutty, there might be intricate details that have to be worked out, but that's a group of bright persons from T2K that
but
come
hold
up
on
with
a
this recall thing.
It's one thing to fix election dates in a country like the United States, right? If the president is elected every 4 years, right? If the president collapses
and then you have
dies,
Congress and the Senate being elected in
then the vice president becomes president, right? If the vice president then collapses and dies,
Speaker of the House.
I think the next person is the Speaker of the House of Representatives, whatever, right? But it goes on and on. Now, if the Congress votes against the president, then that doesn't necessarily lead to the president's it wouldn't lead to the president having to resign or anything like that. They can govern, they can work, right? With a Democratic Congress and a Republican president. But here in Jamaica, the Prime Minister, who is the Chief Executive Officer, the equivalent of the president, right? The Prime Minister's tenure of office depends upon the support of the House of Representatives.
I understand all of
If the House of Representatives,
I understand all
if a majority of the House of Representatives does not want him in office, right? Then he has to go.
But the same is with the President of the United States, because he can be impeached.
He can be impeached, but that's a different process, quite different process.
So, Mutty,
and in any event, hold on a little bit now. If the president is impeached and put out of office as a result of that, then he's succeeded by the vice president.
Right.
Right?
Mutty, what we need to do, the goal is a fixed election date. When we basically put the processes and pieces together to make it so, we solve one of the problems. I'm not going to basically get myself carried away.
But all I would say to you is that I'm not against a fixed election date. But to have a fixed election date, you're going to have to change. You're going to have to change more than the provisions relating to the calling of elections.
Mutty, we'll fix the things that need to be fixed.
Anyway, I have to run. We can continue this another day, hopefully.
Okay.
All right?
I'll give you a call back.
Okay, that brings us to the end of Perkins Online for today. We'll be back hopefully tomorrow, usual time, usual place, and we look forward to your company. So long.